center ice arena for what could very well be the final time in the foreseeable future for the Delaware Thunder. It's the home finale here in Harrington. The Thunder eyeing double-digit wins for the first time since the Thunder's inaugural season in 2019 and 2020. Alongside Kayla Santiago, Tim Nolan will be happy to be with all of you here in Harrington. Kayla, this is a Delaware team that has gotten pretty hot of late considering how this season has gone. Spencer Kozlowski joining the team from New England College. He's now 4-9 in net, and that's pretty good considering that he's given up over 5 goals per game, but his save percentage is top-notch, right around the 90s. And probably the most impressive part about Spencer's game is you get a 26-year-old coming right from Division III college hockey, and he's been able to seamlessly insert himself into a professional roster.
He has been so impressive, and we were able to see him last weekend on the Delmarva Sports Network, and towards that third period, he fell off just a bit. But I think for him, it's getting comfortable against going against these guys. But what he can do, the way he's able to track down the puck has really been impressive, and especially just coming on this squad later with guys that already have played together, he really, really stuck out to me in that meeting just a week ago. So exciting to see what he can bring tonight against this Wolves team.
Take a look there at the side of the American flag. You got the Delaware State Fair. Again, if you're not familiar with the situation, the Delaware Thunder and the Delaware State Fairgrounds were unable to reach a further agreement extending Delaware's lease until next season. So the Thunder, for now, are eyeing other venues to play or try and get an extension. There's hashtags circulating, Save the Thunder. But as of now, it's a statement given by the Harrington Fairgrounds saying that this will be the final home game for the Delaware Thunder. They want to go back to their core programming, their nonprofits at the rink, and the Thunder want to keep this franchise alive. It was a gutting stretch without hockey for Delaware because you have that 13-win season in 2019-20. Then all of a sudden you get the COVID pandemic. You lose out on a season. You got to completely recobble a roster. And last year it was just throwing a group together. They end up winning 9 games. And this season, matching that win total, eyeing to up it tonight, but it just further emphasizes how critical it is for this franchise to keep the season going wherever it ends up being, whether it's in Harrington, whether they can find someplace elsewhere to play in Delaware. Charlie Penn's the team CEO, as we all know, works up in Philadelphia, possibly a move up there, but we talked to him about potential options. Charlie, though, maintaining that it's just paramount that this team finds somewhere to play hockey into 2023-2024.
And I think that's important for the fans as well, as we see the Wolves getting ready for puck drop here in just a few moments. But you talk about them just having 10 wins on the season. They're knocked out of the playoffs. They've had some tough losses here at Center Ice Arena. It doesn't matter. It's always a full house. You see fans, you see kids, you see fathers and mothers, everybody bringing their entire families to Saturday night Thunder hockey, and that's how it's been. And talking to Charlie Penn's when they were opening this thing back up after COVID, he said that's what we want. The community loves it. So I wouldn't be surprised wherever they go next if the Thunder faithful are able to follow them. But these fans definitely want to keep the hockey alive. And it's been fun to have these games here on the Delmarva Sports Network and just see how they show up each and every week.
Well, tonight they're going to be treated as seeing a Watertown squad that Delaware topped last night 5-2, looking to finish the season on a very high note with the sweep. In that game, Spencer Kozlowski, 39 saves on 41 shots faced. Marquise Grant-Mentis with 2 goals, a goal and an assist for Dennis Gaffarov. He's the team leader in points with 51. They got a lot going against a Watertown team that's headed on to the FBHL playoffs. They'll be taking on Binghamton, the number 2 seed in the Empire Division, coming up in just a couple of days. It's the Watertown Wolves taking the ice, noticeably going to be without some very key pieces. It starts with the top 2 scorers. No Elijah Wilson, also Matthias Tellstrom is suspended for the rest of the season. Sounds like a lot. It's a game. He's suspended 10 games, so that's going to certainly hurt the second leading scorer for Watertown going into the playoff stretch. Matthias last night, physical abuse of an official. He was ejected and assessed a 10-game suspension. So you're without your 2 top scorers. You might recognize one of the faces. We show you the starting lineup. Starting up top for the Watertown Wolves, Chris Corrigan is in the starting lineup. He was a member of Delaware's squad, a former SPHL player with Macon, did some great things with the Thunder, and now in Watertown, he's in the left wing spot along with Don Carter Jr., Zach Horn, the right winger. He's one of the top scorers remaining for the Wolves. Brent Baker and Timothy Payne, the first D pair. And Ishmael Ralston, the Cali boy, in between the pipes. It'll be California against Vancouver between the medal. You got Spencer Kozlowski starting for the Thunder as we show you the rest of the starters for Delaware. Usual suspects. The good addition of Marquise Graham-Mentis. He's up to the top line after the strong start he's had with the Thunder. 23 points in 21 games. Houston Wilson at the center. TJ Delaney over a right wing. Charlie Bedard and Andre Ivanov, the D pairing. And the aforementioned Spencer Kozlowski getting the start to end the season. Want to talk a little bit, if we can, Kayla, about Marquise Graham-Mentis, though, because you and I have both gotten to see a guy who gets thrown into this mess right around the time where the losing streak continued. And all of a sudden, he was instant offense. He's got 23 points in 21 games, a rating of just -2. He has been phenomenal, and it seems like he can create whether it's a 2-on-1 or a 1-on-4.
And he has such a strong mental game as well. We saw him last weekend against the Binghamton Bears, and even though they were down, he would come right back to them. And he was a force to be reckoned with, just being able to jump in front of passes, take them away, and go on the other side and score on the other end of the ice. He's definitely a fun player to watch. Unfortunately, this is the last time we're going to be able to see him for this season, but expect him tonight to come out fired up, especially against this Wolves team who we know they might have a little bit of tension with the Delaware Thunder. I think he's going to come out here, and he might have a 2-goal game if I were to predict for tonight.
Absolutely. Nice gesture by Lou Santini. You're going to see the longest tenured Thunder players getting the start in J.C. Moritz, Andre Ivanov, Dennis Gaffarov, Houston Wilson, and Austin Weber. And those gentlemen will be getting us started here in Harrington after this break. National anthem and then puck drop here in Harrington coming up in just a moment. About ready for puck drop here at Center Ice Arena. Again, we mentioned all the longest tenured Thunder players getting the start. J.C. Moritz has been here since the beginning for the Thunder. No Alex Basie. He's home this weekend for the final series of the year for Delaware. The captain not available, but you're going to have Houston Wilson. He's up to 44 points in this fine season he's had. He got called all the way up to the ECHL at the Reading Royals for a brief period of time. Wilson's had a tremendous year. Dennis Gaffarov, the team's leading scorer. He's got over 50 points in 52 games. Nice gesture beforehand by Charlie Penns. That's the team CEO, as many of you all know already. Just giving a quick one final show of gratitude to the fans here in Harrington. This capacity is just around 700. For comparison, the next closest in the league is Watertown. Their municipal holds 2,000 fans. If Delaware was to go over the capacity of 1,000 people, that would be a fire hazard. Again, one of the reasons that the Delaware State Fairgrounds cites they did not want to go forward with extending the lease to the Thunder. Sure, Charlie Penns and company, though, still trying to find a way to keep this franchise going. But here's the season finale of 2023 in the middle for the face-off. Houston Wilson going at it with another former Thunder player. That's going to be a common theme. Watertown almost like Thunder North in a way. John Manatidis, he takes the first initial slap shot up high into the netting.
Kozlowski right off the bat, though, eyeing that up and making sure he was ready for the attack early on. Watertown, though, coming out really red hot, wanting to get things started on the offensive end, but Kozlowski not letting it fool him.
John Manatidis back in for the faceoff. He had 20 points this year, 11 of them with Delaware in 20 games. Montreal, Quebec native. Weber looking to whack it free. Good work by Taylor Cutting to keep it in the zone. Probably recognize the name Cutting from a number of battles with the Binghamton Black Bears. Spends a lot of his time in the penalty box. Last night was no different. 17 minutes spent in the box, including being sent off for misconduct. We got plenty more to share on that front, as I mentioned, when Taylor inevitably gets sent to the penalty box tonight.
Both these teams, as we mentioned before, a little bit of tension. Might see a little bit more than just hockey play here this evening. But for Delaware, you can see they're already coming out strong early on, especially on the offensive front of things. Nothing to lose in this game. It's their last game at home Saturday night for these fans, and they want to give them everything they can and more and try to come out here with the double digits in their season wins.
And it's quite impressive given that professional hockey record, 28-game losing streak. Since then, this is a group of really resilient young guys who have gathered themselves finally and have cobbled together a couple of wins here. The most recent one that we had on the Delmarva Sports Network against the top team in the league in Columbus. Good check into the boards by Pinkowski. Richard can play defense or forward. He's on that third forward line today. Only 5 D skaters for Delaware, though. Jared Lamoth, one of them, and he sends that all the way down the ice. And that'll be icing. Faceoff coming back into the Thunder defensive zone. Without Basie, it's just Lamoth and Heinekainen. J.C. Moritz, the extra skater, the D-man. He'll be filling in wherever needed for Lou Santini.
Lou Santini has done a really good job with this team this year. They were one of the youngest teams coming into the FPHL earlier this season. We saw Trevor Martin earlier in the year in the goal. Then you look at Kozlowski as well. The way this team still comes out and performs and doesn't get down on themselves after some tough games throughout the season. As we mentioned, they beat the #1 team as well. So they've been able to do a lot of good things and really grow as a squad. And for Thunder faithful, I'm sure they hope to see them once again next season, just 1 year better.
Delaney the turnover. Rementis backing him up. Good work by Watertown to keep the zone. Charlie Bedard knocking that puck away. Over to TJ Delaney. Came over in the Ryan Marker trade from Elmira. Here is Cutting. Pass picked off by Rementis. Nifty dangle. Dietrich's cutting as well. Centering try knocked away. Watertown able to clear the puck, get it into neutral ice. Here is Cutting, 3-on-3. Backhands one. Corner try. Cutting there for it along with Delaney. And the wrister glove by Kozlowski. He's content to freeze it. So Watertown going to get yet another face-off in the offensive zone early here.
Same game plan for both sides. It seems like here both guys just trying to clearly go up and down the ice. Quick shots early on, maybe more quicker than we've seen the Thunder do in recent games like last weekend against the Binghamton Bears that we had here on DSN.
It's funny talking about it on the way up here on the drive. Looking at those teams that are headed to the FPHL playoffs, I feel like Binghamton's got to be one of the more dangerous ones. You got to see them put up 8 goals last weekend against Delaware. Such a complete team, and ironically, a lot of them came over from this Watertown 2022 Commissioner's Cup Championship squad.
And they also have 3 goalies on that team that are above 85% in save percentage as well. So we saw a new goalie come in the third period in that game against the Thunder, and just like that, he was able to stop Delaware completely. So they're going to be extremely tough to score on.
Good work by Manatidis reading that pass from Malushkin. Charlie Bedard hustles back for the puck. Relentless forecheck being applied from P.L. Ballard. Offsides called on Don Carter. We're going to face off back in the neutral zone. Corey Allen taking the ice for the first time. Gets some cheers there. Corey, 38 years of age. Good friend of Alex Basie. He's been filling in as the enforcer, especially once Basie came back with that full face visor from surgery. And pretty much every game Corey comes into, it ends up with him either being ushered off or sent to the box. His job is to be the enforcer. That is Allen laying the body into the boards. First big check for Delaware. And now a quick 2-on-1. Pinkowski, DiCostanzo. The wrister from DiCostanzo. And the first big stop made in net by Ralston. That puck skipped up into the Watertown bench as well. First really good rush we've seen so far. Pinkowski, DiCostanzo, those two on that third line. DiCostanzo, another guy that's been a successful addition for the Thunder. The Comac native, 17 points in 41 games. Good work by Allen, getting his stick in the lane. The tie-up with DiCostanzo down back. Allen tying up bodies against the board as Delaware tries to keep the puck in the zone. Really aggressive forechecking early for Watertown. Trying to go into the playoffs against Binghamton on a high note. Fluttering pass sent to center ice. Here is Young. Brennan Young with the puck, dancing past Moritz. Great defense. And Allen giving way over for Lamoth. His shot patted wide and up into the netting to get another stoppage.
Thunder doing a really good job here of making sure they get back on the Watertown Wolves push on the offensive side of things. And right now, a pretty even game from both sides.
Ralston came in to relieve Adam Wisco, the starter for the Watertown Wolves yesterday. He stopped 13 of 14 shots faced, a pretty nice showing. He's currently at King's College, graduates this upcoming May from Huntington Beach, California. Here's a nice rush, backhanded try well wide of Kozlowski. Amanatidis there, back to cutting, whistles high. And then a backhander chipped up and sent behind the cage. Toivu Hanakainen on the puck for Delaware. Ivanov just wide of Wilson. There's Mentis. Wilson up ahead of Delaney. Nifty stick move. Guarded by Cutting. Absorbs the contact. And we'll get a stoppage as the puck was frozen in net by Ralston.
Ralston doing a really good job right now. Not threatened by the one-on-one there. Delaney had a little bit out in front with his skates, but Ralston reading it all the way. Right now, the Delaware Thunder just trying to go on through.
Don Carter Jr., another Cali boy for Watertown. He's taking the face-off against Weber. It's the Alabama native who wins it. Loose puck knocked away from Malushkin. Good work by Ralston to stop that attempt. Fought for in the corner by Delaware. And brought away by Malushkin. Flounders to the ice. Weber can't keep it. Carter coming away with the puck. Horn gains the zone. Over to Carter. His top line on the ice for Watertown. The pass sent across by McGuire. Sent back. Rister scored! First goal of the game score for Watertown. Delaware broke the ice last night and piled on. The first goal scored by the Watertown Wolves. We'll take another look at that. The shot ended up going in and scored off the stick of Brandon Baker. St. Cloud, Minnesota native, put it home.
It's really good recognition right there by Baker as well to make sure that one goes on the right side of the net. You can tell Kozlowski going completely the other way. Not enough reaction time to try and make that save. In Watertown coming up early. The passing was working and able to net one through.
We'll get a look on those assists in a moment. Brandon Baker starts things off for Watertown just over 5 minutes in. The Wolves on top early, 1-0. And here's another rush. Lord and Young pushing ahead as Cutting drops off. DeCostanza tying up the puck along with Annakainen. There is Young fighting for it. Puck gets wound all the way back around the boards. Andrei Ivanov. Rocco DeCostanza with a head of steam. He's got Jacob Volth. Stick knocked out of his hands, and he's just going to have to play futsal while cutting mauls him into the boards. We told you about his propensity. Richard Pinkowski being ushered away. And what did we tell you about Cutting's reputation? He's played in 124 games in the Federal Prospects Hockey League. You know how many penalty minutes? 506. Ooh. 107 this year alone.
Yeah, and he's still talking as he's going back to the bench right there, looking at the Delaware Thunder. Just got tossed up in the far side corner and still jarring off to the official.
Officials timeout. The penalty ultimately being assessed to, appears, Charlie Pence Jr. We talked about this team being Thunder North to an extent. Charlie Pence Jr., that is to the nth degree, the Elkton, Maryland native, the son of Charlie Pence, the CEO of the Thunder. He played in the inaugural season for Delaware and the best season in franchise history for the Thunder. He ended up having 14 points, a career high for him that year. And just one game last year, left the team, and now has been with Watertown for the entirety of this season.
And we saw the tension between these two the first time we had them on our network. And it's starting early on for both squads. Once again, if you're the Delaware Thunder, I mean, at this point, it's your last game of the season. You want to go out with a victory if you're the Thunder, but also just nothing to lose out there. You're going to have fun with it, do what you need to do, and that might get in some tackle-ups, and Watertown's reacting off it.
First man advantage of the night, though, for Delaware. The kill was strong for the Wolves last evening. Ended up upping their penalty kill, a percentage point up to 82% now in the season. Power play unit, 4 forwards and a D-man for Delaware. Ivanov, Malushkin with the puck. Scanning at the circle up top to Ivanov. Sent across, Dennis Gaffarov, the wrister stick wide. Malushkin, over for Wilson. In the circle, Gaffarov, a big save made by Ralston.
And last Saturday, Delaware Thunder had a lot of trouble scoring and power play opportunities. We're only able to get one, and that was off Mentis. So if you're the Delaware Thunder, this is a golden opportunity to tie the game right back up, but still a lot of time left to go in period number 1.
Delaware converts at a 17% clip on the man advantage. Could get the equalizer here. Kept in the zone by Gaffarov. Over to Andrei Ivanov. Malushkin's turn to dance with the puck. Right on the doorstep, backhander just wide. Delaney had an open pipe. A tangle, and good work by Carter to knock the puck to neutral ice. Now a 2-on-1 shorthanded. McGuire over, costly turnover. Lord couldn't get the handle, and Ivanov did the rest. Just over a minute to go on the power play. Malushkin dumps the puck back in. Gaffarov again. Delaware just trying to work that puck closer and closer to the crease. Andrei Ivanov had the assist in that dramatic win over Columbus. Behind the net, Wilson. 40 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Malushkin over to Delaney. And now up top, Andrei Ivanov. A fluttering puck just trickled wide. Now to Gaffarov. Sharp angle. Can't hit it. Good puck movement by Delaware on this power play. Trevor Lord giving chase, but Houston Wilson keeps it. Precious seconds ticking down, though, on the power play. Ivanov back over for Malushkin. Top of the circle. Another shot deflected. Kept into Ivanov. Down to 7 seconds to go. Another shot whistling wide. Now with 3-2. Ivanov. And the final stop made on the man advantage by Ralston. He's been sharp thus far.
Ralston not worried about anything. The man advantage opportunity for the Thunder was no threat to him.
Another close shot taken by TJ Delaney off that massive pad for Ralston. Oh, cross-ice pass, and what a stick save by Ralston. That was his finest of the night. Dennis Gafrov had an open cage. Now he has to retrieve his stick and nearly gives up a goal. Another pad stop made. Ralston standing on his head, but Delaware relentless in the offensive zone. Watertown was fortunate to clear towards the end of that shift. And now Trevor Lord just going to get some more fresh skaters on the ice.
Watertown want to give your goalie and Ralston a break right there because he just put on one heck of a show during that power play and even after as the Thunder just kept peppering him. What a performance by him so far.
You want to show P.L. Ballard the dance move. Turned aside by Kozlowski. Baker, the lone goal, knocks the puck back to neutral ice. 3-on-3 if they hurry. Delaney. Thunder can capitalize a lot of these shots ricocheting off the pad, as you see right there. Ralston, instead of smothering it, he's just been knocking it to the left or to the right. It hasn't exactly been to a corner. See if Delaware can capitalize on that. This game wears on. Puck dropped into the zone. Jacob Wolf giving chase. Anakainen keeps it in the zone. Again, Delaware trying for just its second double-digit win season in 3. 13 wins back in 2020 and 2019. And then last season, went 9-42-2. Already surpassed that point total this season with 28.
Right now, the Delaware Thunder have had so many opportunities. Ralston been putting on a show so far, but you're absolutely right, Tim. If they could just get in position to be there for the ricochets, because Ralston not completely just flagging it down, allowing it to bounce off his pads. Thunder maybe want to talk that over and have a little bit more success on getting the ricochet and getting it through. But right now, offensively, they've been doing what they need to do. Ralston really just on another level here tonight.
You know, I don't think we've ever explained. I know I certainly have not when we've done these broadcasts. Maybe some of you are at home think, wait a second, this is the Delmarva Sports Network, but every time out, I feel like we only show the opposing team a little behind the scenes for you folks here. So our camera that we use for every Delaware Thunder broadcast we've seen this Saturday is right off to the corner where it peers down to Watertown's bench. So, yes, while we're doing these games for you Delaware fans here in Harrington and around the First State, that's usually why we end up taking the team, and it gives us an opportunity to tell you a bit more about the opposing teams making the trip down 13 here to Harrington, Delaware. Crazy to think, too, already double-digit games that we've done on the Delmarva Sports Network. This one, the finale, here on the 15th of April. That puck dumped long. Anakainen can't afford to let it go for icing because the Manatidis was giving great chase, and a costly turnover now. Horn with numbers, drops off the pass. But again, there is Grant Mentis to help out. Anakainen just tried to usher the puck towards him. Couldn't put enough on it. Another former Thunder player, Chris Corrigan. Back checking Anakainen. Corrigan again giving chase, this time shouldering J.C. Moritz into the boards. And possibly now a breakout for Delaware. It's Wilson and Graham Mentis. Houston Wilson over to Graham Mentis. Back and forth. Tic-tac-toe. Thunder tie it up. Houston Wilson assisted by Marquise Graham Mentis. And Delaware draws even at one apiece on one of the easiest goals you're going to see Wilson record all year.
This duo just so fun to watch. We saw a little bit of this last Saturday night here on DSN, and we're seeing it yet again. Wilson is so quick on the skates, and we've talked about that all season long. Grant Mentis maybe the second quickest here for the Delaware Thunder, especially on the ice at that time, and it was just too easy. Ralston this time unable to get to it, and now the Thunder had a momentum back on their side.
And for Marquise Graham Mentis, in 22 games now this season, not only his 24th point, but that pushes rating back to -1 on the season, which in 22 games for a team with a goal differential of -144, that's almost unfathomable. Here's another giveaway. How about that sprawling stop by Timothy Payne to knock that puck up into the netting.
Putting his body on the line to make sure the Thunder quickly couldn't get ahead 2-1 on that goal, but you can tell they're feeding off the momentum of the crowd and that last score right there. Now let's see what they can do in the offensive zone. We mentioned to be in spots for the ricochets. We'll see if they are able to get the chance to do that here.
Initial goal scored by the D-man, Brandon Baker for Watertown. The response by Houston Wilson. Now Delaware trying to take the lead. Ivanov to neutral ice. Malushkin past the red line, sends it all the way down deep. Cutting pressure by DiCostanzo. DiCostanzo causes the turnover. He has Pinkowski if he wants him, but another great play by Payne. Now a costly giveaway. Can't be gloved by Ralston. Pinkowski tied up. Cutting's got him in an arm bar, and they're going to call him for the hold. We said inevitable for a reason. For Taylor Cutting now, penalty minutes 5:07 and 5:08 in his career in the FPHL.
Cutting extremely visibly frustrated right there as he slams the door going into the box. But, I mean, it was night and day right there. He completely had the arm wrapped up, unable to do anything where the Thunder, and now another chance for Delaware to try to go ahead as, once again, the momentum pretty much on their side.
Thunder 0-1 on the power play, but it was a successful one nonetheless. A lot of shots stopped by Ismail Ralston. Ivanov in the circle of Malushkin. This is where he likes it. Cross-ice pass. Gafrov's turn, and a turnover. Good clear by Watertown. 20 seconds into the power play.
Gafrov just never really able to get that puck flat down. A costly turnover. Delaware going to have to set things back up.
Gafrov, a hard tumble to the ice, the back of his head slamming the surface. And now we're getting a penalty assessed to Danila Malushkin. We head to 4-on-4. They're going to get Malushkin for interference after the hold by Cutting. 4-on-4 hockey. And Watertown's going to end up with a power play of 37 seconds potentially when this is all said and done. First penalty taken by Delaware. And an uncharacteristic one for Danilo Malushkin. Usually very keen on staying out of the box. More importantly, in this 4-on-4 set, you lose your most prolific scorer, Malushkin, 1.2 points per game. Still though, Kayla, they got your duo out there in both Wilson and Graham Mentis, who just have an unreal connection. Offsides right there by Charlie Bedard. But Wilson and Graham Mentis have been a different kind of tandem. Harden and Embiid, if you will.
Got to see a little bit of that today as well, but this time on the ice. I mean, these two, what's so fun to watch about them on the ice is that they're so quick, and their stick-skill ability when they're able just to have that opportunity with just them two in the offensive zone, it can be so fun to watch. We saw a lot of Grant Mentis last time on DSN. We've seen Wilson before he got moved up all year long, and now he's back with the Thunder. So these two guys, the duo of them, should definitely try to get this power play opportunity here, of course, now 4-on-4, but they could be a big reason to put Thunder up once again.
Chris Corrigan showing off the speed. Great vision. Payne now kind of dancing close. The backhander padded wide by Kozlowski. Sharp angle try, lifted up, and Carter and it hop over his stick and back to neutral ice. Corrigan and Carter taking on Delaware. 2-on-4. Carter Jr. keeping it alive, and Kozlowski not bothered by that one. Carter tried to flip it back towards the cage. Timothy Payne closest to it for Watertown. And Baker hustles over, but is going to let this one run past the blue line. Just 9 seconds left, and the penalty assessed the cutting before Watertown is on the man advantage. That's exactly what Don Carter Jr. is going to hold for. Buck sent across. Watertown can get the extra skater on the ice and head to 5-on-4 play. They opt to put cutting in the box, and Thompson comes on. Good stop, though, by Ivanov, and Weber does the rest to knock it back to the center ice. The captain, Charlie Pence Jr., great move by Trevor Lord. Sharp angle, wrist try, into the chest of Kozlowski, and gobbled up.
Kozlowski doing a really good job of not letting that one score get to him in the mental game, and has bounced back ever since.
Spencer Kozlowski, 26 years of age. He won 4 starts already, most recently last evening, 39 saves on 41 attempts. Lou Santini loves the way that he can get post to post. That's what's allowed him to make this transition so seamlessly. Screen from that one, but fortunately that Hanakainen got in the way. High stick signaled. Official pointing at Trevor Lord. We'll see where this faceoff takes place. With the faceoff coming outside of the zone, appeared to be signaled against the Watertown Wolves. No high-sticking penalty, just the infraction for knocking it out of the air. Pass sent cross ice from McGuire. Pence Jr., now 35 years of age, turned the big 3-5 on April 5th. More good stuff from Ballard, but here comes Graham Mentis. Waiting for Wilson. The wrister from Graham Mentis, stopped by Ralston. He's trying to tie up the stick there of Lord. Now here comes P.L. Ballard. Pierre-Luc drops off. That shot scored. What a feed by Pierre-Luc Ballard. And the finish slammed home by Everett Thompson. His 24th point of the season. And that goal gives Watertown the lead back with under 5 to play in the first period.
Yeah, Thunder just not getting back fully on that one at all. And you could just tell the penetration here just a bit quicker. If you blinked, you might have missed it. Kozlowski not able to do too much right there. We talked about him bouncing back right there, just kind of getting caught on an island, you might say, as the Thunder defense not getting back too much on that play, and the Wolves right back up.
See a big grin from Everett Thompson. That was one heck of a shot. Perfect placement. Kozlowski couldn't get the glove up in time. Watertown back on top. The Wolves took the lead before the Houston Wilson goal tied it. Now Thunder again playing catch-up in the regular season finale. Watertown on to play Binghamton in the playoffs. This is it for Delaware. And possibly it here in Harrington. Manatidis had that shot knocked away. Good forecheck from Richard Pinkowski. Pass dumped into the zone. DeCostanzo there to back it up. No offsides. Kept in nicely, and Rocco fires high.
An opportunity there, though, for the Thunder. You can tell DeCostanzo just a little bit frustrated with himself on that play. I know he had a golden opportunity, as we see more Thunder fans out here today, as it is the home season finale here for the Delaware Thunder.
Rocco DeCostanzo might be in for a little bit of hurt coming up in the next couple weeks, though. He's a big Rangers fan from Long Island, New York. Rangers drawing the New Jersey Devils in the first round of the playoffs, so you got your Sixers moment. I'll certainly be dialed in for Devils-Rangers. That series getting underway on Tuesday. As we mentioned, playoff hockey in the future. Watertown has won 3 Commissioner's Cup trophies. That is the most in the Federal Prospect Hockey League, 2015, 2018, and most recently last season, the defending champ Wolves. Sort of limping into the playoffs this year, just 58 points on the season. Or 55 points on the season, excuse me. Watertown most recently dropping last night to Delaware here in Harrington. The Wolves in that 3 spot going up against Binghamton. Elmira got the last place in the playoff seeding, 48 points on the year out of the Empire.
That's going to be a really exciting series. Binghamton, as we mentioned before, they are just so versatile, and within their lines, there's really no drop-off whatsoever, and the way they're just able to substitute people in and out, and each guy has a different skill set. We've seen that against the Thunder, but the Wolves, a physical team, definitely not a team you necessarily want to face in the first round. They're going to make you work for everything you need.
Right now, they're certainly working for the face-offs. Another one won by Don Carter Jr. Costanzo tried to hold it at the blue line. Horns got it at center ice. Gains the zone, taken away by Jacob Wolf. JC Moritz, sure also very pleased by that Philly win. He's a huge Philadelphia sports fan. Went to Newman University. Ralston backhanding that puck around, but another takeaway by Rocco Di Costanzo. He's been sharp early, stealing the puck away. Both the tie-up. Here comes Carter. Into the neutral zone and now gaining the offensive end. Fights past Ivanov. Moritz there. Thunder about trying to get that top line on as well. Pinkowski knocked to the ice. And Corrigan with the puck. His wrist shot whistles wide. Cutting a drive. Slap shot. Smothered. And stopped between the wickets by Kozlowski.
Kozlowski just trying to get through this first period without any other damage done. As this game, as close as it could be, the Delaware Thunder doing a really good job of answering just all those ricochets and penetration. Haven't been able to get too much. Right now, Kozlowski holding his own.
You know, I'm glad you said that because I don't think, ironically enough, for a sport like this, I don't think I've said ricochet once in these games that we've done. And yet it so perfectly fits so many of these saves we see off the pads of goalies. That one, just a snag from Kozlowski. A lot of offensive face-offs, though, for Watertown. Both their goals coming on first the shot from the point and then the breakaway. McGuire with it, taken away by Delaney. Wears it off the shin and now has a one-on-one with the goalie, but he lost the handle.
Right there, you might question why Delaney didn't try to go straight away in the upper right or left corner, trying to go wide right and just unable to contain.
Gramentis quickly gaining the zone, scanning for options. In front, could not hook up with Bedard. And then Hanakainen takes a tumble. Brendan Young's got a chance. Walking on Kozlowski. Slotted across, pass knocked away. Numbers now for Delaware. Gramentis, Malushkin. Big stop made by Watertown. Rock'em Sock'em Robots in Harrington. Thompson cleanly gains the zone. Whistles a shot just high of the bar. Lord, cross ice, knocked away, and here comes Marquise. Marcus with Malushkin. His centering try, Malushkin just missed. Danila over for Gramentis. The pad save goes right up in the air. No one can find the puck. It's still loose on the doorstep, and it's going to be sent all the way down for icing. Two-one lead thanks to Brandon Baker along with Everett Thompson for the Wolves. Houston Wilson, the lone goal via the assist from Marquise Gramentis. And now Weber in the zone for the face-off with Lord. Slapper Ivanov just missed. And then Lamoth couldn't keep it across the blue line. Check out those dance moves from Pierre-Luc Ballard. For DSN faithful, you might remember a number of Ballard's DSN demonstrations he did with our very own Tyrone Sharper. He had some very great hands with his time with Delaware. Offsides called as that puck knocked up. 51 seconds remaining in period number 1. Delaware was up as much as 5-1 yesterday in the ultimate 5-2 victory over Watertown. Well, that man, a big reason why Delaware has been just held to 1 goal thus far. Ismail Ralston, the Huntington Beach kid, doing a great job thus far. He's got a 93% save percentage. Pretty fine start for him out of the gate. Time for 1 or 2 more rushes here in the period. Pinkowski flutters it into the zone. Watertown first to it. The turnover to Pinkowski. Shields his body from the defense. A fluttering wrister loose and tied up in the pads. Cutting as well, getting tangled up. Official, you can see him just saying to Cutting, don't do that. He got caught up with it. Appears either Jacob Volt or Richard Pinkowski is close back over there. No penalties assessed. And former teammates going to laugh it off in Corrigan and DeCostanzo. Allen and Cutting right next to each other here to end period number 1. 77 and 62. With 21.9 to go. We'll keep an eye on it. Allen tosses the gloves immediately, and he's going right after Cutting. Catches him with a blow. Taylor didn't even drop the gloves, and he is irate. Taylor Cutting has to be wrestled by 2 officials. He's taken off the helmet. Teammates getting involved as well. I told you. When Corey Allen comes onto the ice, he's got one purpose to serve. Made no intention to go for the puck, dropped the gloves immediately, and ragdolled Cutting. In this case, though, Taylor's got a very compelling argument. He was frankly jumped by Allen. We're getting a great shot from our cameraman, Jack Kritzis, of just how Cutting feels about that last moment. We'll get a look as close as possible just to see if that is indeed the end of Cutting's night, as the officials are going to have to sort through a lot here. Now they're going to assess penalties to both Allen and Cutting. You see the pearly whites on the bench, though, the Delaware Thunder, Charlie Penn's included. This is an opponent that they've been well acquainted with all season long in his multiple sweaters this season in the FPHL. And Allen and company, frankly, had enough. You know, if you're wondering, by the way, why it's just been myself talking to you for the past 5-6 minutes here, we got Kayla Santiago getting ready for Bumper Boats, you know, the segment you get to see every intermission or so in between the first and second period. She will be in one of them. Well, we don't have the capability to mic her up in the Bumper Boat. We'll make sure we definitely get you footage. Honestly, probably for our entertainment just as much as yours at home. Officials got some deliberating to do first with 17.3 remaining. For those of you just joining us, again, sorry we haven't been able to get you another look at the fight just beforehand. But it was Allen and Taylor Cutting. Allen came onto the ice with 20 seconds left. We'll see if we can get you another look at it right now coming up. The faceoff was taken by Wilson, but right off to the bottom of your screen, over to the right. Allen sheds the gloves. Cutting has no idea what's going on. He goes into protection mode hasn't even shed the gloves. And by the time he realized what hit him, has to be wrestled by two officials. The helmet comes off, and teammates coming in as well. Trevor Lord just doing his best to calm down the D-man. Play resumes. 2 minutes assessed to Corey Allen. So it will be 5-on-4 action for Watertown. Final 5 of the period. On the doorstep, Carter, loose in front, and Watertown scores with .8 seconds to go in the period. A homecoming goal for P.L. Ballard. The Quebec native pokes it in, he's fired up. 3-1 Watertown lead with under a second remaining in period number 1. We'll take another look at that one. PL, right place, right time. Sitting on the goal mouth and poking it home. He done the dirty work. He already has 2 points tonight. The assist on the previous goal to Thompson. And that line has been creating a lot of problems for Delaware. They're fractions of a second. It puts Watertown on top 2. And that'll do it for period number 1. Watertown Wolves leading this one 3-1. Delaware tied it up. The Wolves responded. And a goal on the man advantage right before the horn by P.L. Ballard sends us into the first intermission with a 3-1 Watertown lead. We'll be back with, yes, of course, the bumper boats, also some highlights and plenty more coming up in just a moment. Stick around. We got Saturday Night Hockey one final time, continuing to roll on here on the Delmarva Sports Network. Jack, so the guy that just got tossed again, he DMs Ava all the time. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you told me. And now he's Welcome to the intermission report here on the Delmarva Sports Network. And, yep, that's where my color commentator went. She's in a bumper boat right now at center ice. Did not come home with the trophy, unfortunately, for all of us back here with the Delmarva Sports Network. But she's also got to figure a way to get her way back up into the booth. Again, one of the great events that Delaware does in between all the intermissions. We got a hockey game to talk about. 3-1 Watertown Wolves lead. Taylor Cuttings back in street clothes. He's taking a seat. We'll take a look at how exactly they decided to assess those penalties from Allen and Cutting. In the meantime, we do have the highlights to show you as they finally get Kayla up out of the bumper boat. Absorbing some contact as well at the end, but presenting herself nicely. Thunder, meanwhile, started off with a very quick deficit. There's a shot from the point by Brandon Baker that beat Kozlowski, who was screened in front. Take another look at it as Baker just using a sea of bodies in front of him. Kozlowski got the glove up late. He would do that later on as well in the period. But the Thunder first able to make something happen on the offensive end. Great work in the defensive end, though, by Colton McGuire, knocking that puck away. This is probably the best chance that didn't go for Delaware. Dennis Gaffarov had a shot stick saved by Ralston. That was his best stop of the first period. But how about this goal? Wilson over to Grant Mentis, and no one home. Ralston unable to get back across the crease. Great passing. Take another watch at this one. Wilson back and forth with GM. And Houston Wilson put that home for his 45th point of the season. Yet another goal in the fine season he's been having in Delaware. Welcome back, Pierre-Luc Ballard. 2 points in period number one. First, the assist. He dropped that pass off to Everett Thompson, who put it home for his 24th point of the season. There was very little room to operate for both those guys. First for Ballard dropping off the pass, and then also for Thompson just to tuck that one right up over the shoulder. And here's a couple opportunities where you thought that Delaware might get the equalizer. Delaney got Ralston to sprawl out, ends up fanning on the shot. And then here's the scrap right before things ended. It ultimately set up the Delaware Thunder for another penalty kill. Cutting has to be taken down by 2 officials. His night is done. Great work by our team as he continued to express his frustrations, head into the dressing room. But the final goal of the period, the final tally, would come with 0.8 seconds to go. Kozlowski just trying to wedge the puck, end the period, loses sight of his backside, and there is P.L. Ballard. Pierre-Luc gives Watertown the 2-0 lead. Those replays brought to you by 93.5 The Beach. Harrington, Delaware, final home game for the Thunder here in the 2023 season. And Delaware trailing by 2. Unfamiliar spot of late for this Thunder team that has been cobbling wins together, but still plenty of time remaining. 40 minutes left to go. 2 periods coming up, and when we return, we'll tell you a little bit more. We got some stats coming up as they get the ice ready. Share a little bit more about the state of the ice as we got back to this game here in Harrington for this Saturday when we come back in just a moment. 3-1 lead for the Watertown Wolves. You're watching Thunder Hockey in the Delmarva Sports Network. Here, brought to you by DSN.
Intermission at the Thunderdome. Brought to you by Outdoors Delmarva.
Back here at Center Ice Arena, Delaware Thunder trailing the Watertown Wolves 3-1. Happy to finally see all you back here in the Delaware State Fairgrounds, Harrington State Fairgrounds. Kayla Santiago, Tim Nolan, happy to be with all you folks. And Kayla, first we need a recap on the bumper boats.
I was supposed to win, and clearly that didn't happen. It was actually very hard to steer. I just kept going around in circles. It was a whole ton of fun, though. I mean, this is why a lot of people like to come here, because they have so many things to do during the intermissions, and I definitely got beat out there, but it was a whole ton of fun. I needed a lot of help, but definitely would do it again.
All right. Now, any tips or tricks for a future bumper boater?
I would say just go completely forward. Don't push right or left, because then you're going to spin in circles. My brain just wasn't braining and doing that, so that's why I kept going in circles. But go as fast as you can and avoid everybody if you want to win.
Now, you can't give any more tips to either Taylor Gutting or Corey Allen on the ice. Their nights are done. They were both issued misconducts. Corey Allen for being the aggressor. His night is done, and Gutting for continuing an altercation, which I think, while Taylor certainly has a propensity, might have a good case in this argument that he frankly was jumped and just trying to get out of the way, and ends up being issued the further punishment for when he gets tied up with the officials. So his night ended. Big loss, more so for the Wolves, given that Allen only comes on the ice to fight. He leaves, and that's how it goes for him every single time here in Harrington. Let's get back to who's going to be continuing to play on the ice, though. We'll show you the stats from this first period action. It was fairly even, including, you look at the shots in Delaware, they got plenty off on Ismail Ralston. 20 total in that period, but a whole lot of saves by the rookie goaltender in Ralston. He was sharp. The penalty minutes, the most crucial one, though, that power play at the end that Allen gives up because, sure, you want to take care of Cutting. You feel like he's been going after your guys, but you end up giving up yet another man advantage. You're in a penalty kill situation, and Watertown capitalized.
Yeah, Watertown right now, I think they're just able to capitalize, as you mentioned, on those opportunities. And for the Delaware Thunder, not so much, especially in the power play. But you look at the Delaware Thunder, and I think more times than not this season, we've seen them kind of go up by a few goals or have a lot of goals in the first and second period. It's rare that we see them only have one goal after one. So interesting what they're going to do in this intermission break, how they talk things over. And I'd like to see Kozlowski just be a little bit more settled as well. We saw him kind of fight back. I think that goal at the end right there kind of was on him a little bit and definitely might be in the mental game. But if he just comes back out here and acts like it's a 0-0 game, they'll be completely fine. I expect them to come out with a whole new aggression like they did earlier on, what we saw from Wilson, Mentes, and others throughout that first period.
But worth noting for Kozlowski, all three goals allowed, all going glove side. The first one scored by Baker. The second one by Thompson was up high over the shoulder. And then the third, really no chance for him to get across the crease on a puck that squirted free to Pierre-Luc Bellard. Thunder fans, though, taking in what they hope is not the final game here at the Harrington Center Ice Arena. But for the foreseeable future, that appears to be the case. In Delaware, looking to come away winners for the second time in a row and push to 10 wins on the season. Second period action coming up in just a couple of minutes, exactly 4 to go before we begin the second 20. We'll be right back with more hockey in the Delmarva Sports Network.
Wait.
No, I didn't get. No, I didn't ask for a number. I got to. Oh my. Yeah. Oh my God. Wow.
My cousins, my friends. I said to look at my story. My cousins and my friends. No. I saw my friend Mariah at the Sixers game today. Mariah and Will. Mariah and Will. Will's her boyfriend. Mariah. So, Ellen, You don't know? Oh. Is that what happened?
Wait. Does that mean? Take it out right now. I want to come quick. You are sick. You are sick. You're sick. No, you made that up. And you were so proud of it. And you were telling me about it when you were talking about. Wait, no, I can't finish that because Kayla is hearing what I'm saying. I won't say anything further.
No, I want to.
Further for your sake. Yes. For second period action here at Center Ice Arena alongside Kayla Santiago, Tim Nolan back with all of you on the DeMarva Sports Network. Kozlowski returning in between the pipes for Delaware. I'm curious to see how the Thunder respond here in period number 2. That final goal of the frame in the first for Watertown came with 0.8 seconds to go. Pierre-Luc Ballard has been dynamite since returning here in Delaware. And he was a really great find in the few weeks that he was with the Thunder. And PL took a break from hockey, ended up going back home, and now finds himself at Watertown. You're going to look at another former Delaware player, Chris Corrigan. Now, Chris, as we learned on Ringside, is a huge fan of Italian food.
Ooh.
What is your take?
I love Italian food. I think any given night, there's so many different things you can get. Whether it's pizza, chicken marsala, chicken parm, eggplant parm, pasta.
Now you said get, but not make.
Make? Pasta.
Okay.
Or chicken parm. I can do a pretty good chicken parm, but that's about the length I can go in terms of Italian food. How about you?
Do make a pretty good meatball.
Oh.
Do make a pretty good meatball.
Homemade, those are tough.
Shout out, you have a Sicilian grandmother. You learn pretty quickly. My cooking's not all that extensive, so that is definitely a proud point for me. Team chef, unofficially, for Delaware, actually, Marquise Graham-Mentis, before a lot of games, he thinks it's a good luck charm. He makes a vodka sauce for the team with some pasta. Don't get your hopes up, though, as he told us on Ringside, the vodka sauce is store-bought, and he just puts it with the pasta, and that's the pregame meal.
Still does the trick, though.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't skate after eating pasta with vodka, though.
I can't skate even normally, so definitely after a big pasta dish, it would not work out.
Manatidis and Weber, fluttering puck. And an immediate rush for Danila Malushkin. Also just able to get a piece of it. Keep an eye on this ice as well. It's a new Zamboni that the Thunder had to use for this weekend after the one they've been using all season broke down. Gafarov drops off. Malushkin, wrist shot. That one sticked up over the net and behind the goal.
And that's what you want to see from Malushkin. We know the power that he can have, especially in a slap shot or from distance as well. And wasn't as aggressive in that first period. Saw a few glimpses of it, but coming out here in the second and trying to get on the board early.
Danilo has to be one of my highlights from this season of doing Thunder hockey games. And not for anything he did on the ice, but the fact that he had teammates who said he'd be comfortable to sit down and do an interview. It was the first full interview he'd ever done in English. He first started picking up the language 3 years ago when he played some pro hockey over in Hungary. And from there, he said he just kind of wanted to learn and get better. And, a couple questions in, you could tell Danilo was shaky, just in his early 20s. But by the end, we ended up getting 7 minutes of content through, and he was terrific. Just another reminder that a lot of these guys make a lot of familial and personal sacrifices coming all the way over here to come play in Harrington and continue to chase a professional hockey dream. Wilson with a head of steam. Lost it momentarily. Good back check applied from the Watertown Wolves. Corgan with it at center ice. Bearing down on Hanakainen. 3-on-2. Corgan, the wraparound on the doorstep. Tied up by Delaney. Puck dumped around to Corgan. Over to Carter. This line with Horn as well. Graham Mentis speeding in the neutral zone. Working around the captain Pence. Checked into the boards by Charlie Jr. Delaware looking for a response. It's a 2-goal run for Watertown. Lord was in the zone already, but no offsides call. Trevor, sharp angle tried ×2. Knocked away. And DiCostanzo knocks it out to center ice.
DiCostanzo doing a good job to making sure Watertown didn't have another opportunity.
Wolf tying up Thompson from behind. Winds the puck over to Young. Brennan Young to the point. Shot deflected off a shin. Backstop here by Trevor Lord. Young giving chase to Austin Weber. Here is Timothy Payne, another player who faced the Thunder as a member of multiple teams. This season, he's also been with Mississippi and Elmira. Had 3 career points with the Delaware Thunder back when he was with them last season. Good stop by Pinkowski to evade the check. And the puck comes free to Weber. Austin Weber, 2-on-1, over to Wolf, just out of his reach. Top line skates back on, Gaffrod, Malushkin, and Wilson. Wilson was tardy getting out. A big check by Moritz into the boards. And that was a painful endeavor. Well, Watertown skater down behind the play.
That was scary right there. I think it was a little bit of Moritz and also him losing his footing a little bit on the other side as we take another look. I guess it was the push there, and that's scary if you're Watertown. Never want to see anything like that. We know hockey, of course, is a physical game, but just unable to brace himself.
And it is the former Delaware Thunder forward.
It's like unable to put any pressure on that left leg as that left skate completely up.
Oh, the best for Pierre-Luc Ballard. Being helped off by the Delaware training staff. And probably scary because with PL, you probably figure Mom's watching. He told us extensively how she's his biggest supporter. Watches all of his games and tries to travel to see as much of them as possible, even down from Quebec. Ballard off to the dressing room. Watertown already down Taylor Cutting, who was ejected in the first period. No penalty issue to Moritz. He applies some pressure. Kozlowski freezes the puck, gives it over to Wilson. A rush up ahead, Hanakainen. Backhand pass, slotted across to Delaney. Good defensive work by Monetitas. Running Young, too far out of the reach. Jared Lamoth closest to it for Delaware. And now up ahead, DiCostanzo was trying to get free. Tied up by Charlie Penz. Ralston comes well out of cage. Penz Jr. knocked away. Ivanov keeps it on the Delaware offensive side of the ice before working it back in the neutral zone. Luis Graham-Mentis evading skates, tangled up, and puck gonna have to be frozen by Ralston up against the post.
You can see the quickness of Mentis on that play. Just how he's able to get past everybody right there. Just need a little bit more help if you're the Delaware Thunder in terms of going to the puck and trying to give him an opportunity when two guys are coming right after him, that he can unleash it.
There's a face-off won by DiCostanzo. An official is down behind the play as well. We did not get a really good look at what happened initially to the official. Scary moment here in Harrington as you saw the urgency from Delaware's trainer get out onto the ice. Just good to see him up.
I'm going to say it's a good thing to see him responsive a little bit. Not sure if he got hit or tangled up or what happened there, but they're making sure that he's all okay. Trying to crack a smile over there and applause from the Thunder crowd.
We'll see if that diminishes the ref you suck chance as this game continues. Maybe some empathy for the four officials in the season finale.
You know, as fans, we get all riled up, but it is such a tough job. I feel like especially in the sport of hockey, to be out of the way and still make efficient calls while they're playing at such a fast pace.
It looked like he almost got on base when we were looking back at the replay, as if he was unintentionally slew-footed from behind after dropping the puck on the face-off. Landed on his back. That time checked his bearings, seemed all right. And Watertown eyeing goal number 4. Payne, kick save made by DiCostanzo. Lamoth breaking free. Gains the zone successfully. Good work by Pinkowski to keep it in. Turnover to Carter. Tiptoeing past the defense. Watertown gaining the zone. DiCostanzo with Wolf. Pinkowski coming over. DiCostanzo back, Bedard, shot wide. DiCostanzo eyeing Pinkowski, his shot from the circle misses. J.C. Maritz's turn. Battle for the puck. Won by McGuire. Wolf, cross ice. He was looking for Moritz. Closest to it, though, is Horn. Carter Jr. Richter. That one cannot be squeezed by Kozlowski. Good vision. Gafrov and Malushkin breaking away. But Malushkin got into the zone first. We're going to have a face-off outside the blue line.
Thunder seem a lot more poised in this second period so far. Able to get a lot of traction and time of possession in their offensive zone and a lot of shots that they're trying to get to go through, of course, but really doing a good job, as he did in the first period, is Ralston.
Just to get you folks caught up who might have tuned in late in this one, the first goal scored by Brandon Baker for Watertown. Delaware tied it a couple of minutes later. Houston Wilson getting the lone goal for the Thunder. And Everett Thompson off the assist from Ballard, and Pierre-Luc put home the third for Watertown right before the end of the first period. Ballard currently in the dressing room getting looked at after he took that hard spill into the boards, trying to track down a puck beyond the goal.
And it looks like right now he's icing his knee, giving the thumbs up to the trainer. Of course, don't know if he's going to come back in this game, but good to see that he's back out here and putting some ice on that knee and looks to be A-okay.
Giving some waves across the ice in the meantime as well. PL is definitely a fan favorite in his time in Delaware. And it's a packed house once again. It always is in Harrington. But a nice nod to the local crowd here just across the way in Felton, Delaware. It's Lake Forest night here at Center Ice Arena. Austin Weber winning the faceoff. And the Moth tracking it down. Just over 6 minutes gone by here in period number 2. Weber can't keep up to that puck. He's on the ice with Malushkin and Gavrov. Thompson a goal. Cross-ice feed. This line has generated 2 goals for Watertown. Gavrov, good speed. Works it all the way down. Oh, what a pass, but Malushkin fanned on it. Another blown opportunity for Delaware. Weber's turn over to Malushkin behind him. Danila working the boards. Watertown takes the puck right back. Trevor Lord flips a pass over for Thompson. Kozlowski gloves it. That's another stop for the rookie.
Going back to that play on Malushkin. The pass couldn't have been any better. Threw Ralston a little bit off guard as well. Malushkin just unable to get the stick to the puck there.
Dylan Malushkin's favorite player, by the way, just continues to redefine. Redefine, maybe not the right word, given Wayne Gretzky did it so many times in his day, but Connor McDavid putting up 153 points in 82 games of NHL hockey is something else. Grant Mentis has those kind of wheels. His cross-ice pass to Delaney, though, missed. TJ off a stick and ended up actually in the sweater, the member of the Wolves. That's going to bring a face-off into the offensive zone for Delaware.
Delaney doing a good job of being relentless on that play, getting the puck back and trying to set up another chance for the Delaware Thunder, not giving up on the play that Mentis was trying to create.
Marcus Graham Mentis picked up the game from his father. Ivanov a drive. That one calmly scooped up by Ralston. Graham Mentis saying that he takes a lot of pride in playing professional hockey, given, not a lot of kids from Brampton, Ontario have the opportunities that he's got. And he plans on, once his playing days are over, being a youth coach. Opposite 44, wrist shot, stopped by Kozlowski. The sharp angle just missed. And now a breakout for Houston Wilson. Good work by Watertown to collapse, drops off a pass. Graham Mentis loses the handle. Kept in the zone nicely by Bedard. Wilson giving chase. Dakota scheming the extra skater for Watertown on. Ivanov keeps it ahead of the blue line. Chipped around to Wolf. Wilson had eyes on Graham Mentis. Now Wolf winding it around. Graham Mentis, the toe drag, tied up by Seaman. And the backhander sticked away opposite side. Wilson was pressuring on the back check. A fluttering pass, great work by Bedard to knock it out of the way of Seaman.
Bedard saving Kozlowski from being left alone on an island on that play.
Thunderous hit into the boards by Charlie Bedard, finishing off Jones. Here comes Chris Corrigan. He's got Carter and Horn. Top line for Watertown. Over one of the top D-men and Charlie Pence Jr. Pinkowski steers it right back to the stick of a Wolf player, and Carter Jr. picks it up. Shouldered in the boards by Moritz. Time for the puck, one away. Pinkowski gets it across the blue line. Watertown going to have to reset. Delaware still eyeing that $1 million opportunity here in period number 2. Pinkowski trying to manufacture it, but he is sandwiched into the boards by Pence. Don Carter Jr. winds it back in around. Under 10 to go, halfway gone by here in the season finale in Harrington. Officials say deflection, icing waved off. No tripping as well. A potential breakout here for Delaware. But a costly turnover and a breakout the other way. In transition, Thompson saved by Kozlowski. His biggest stop of the evening.
Great job there by Kozlowski. Knew what was coming at him and planned for it perfectly. Big time save there. Delaware trying to go the other way.
Gafrov's turn with a head of steam. Surveying on, he gives it to Weber. Fans on it. Malushkin tracked by 2 defenders. Gafrov back from Malushkin. Taken back. Young skating the other way, and a big collision with Hanakainen. They're going to get him with the hit down low. And multiple players for Watertown did not take kindly to that hit by the Finn. Tovu, the rookie, kind of submarine the body of the skating Brennan Young coming on in. That's going to be 2 minutes. And back on the kill go the Delaware Thunder after this brief little timeout.
Aaron Watertown right there just sticking up for their players. A defenseless hit as they're still going back and forth here. We talked about the tensions these two teams have together, especially it being the Delaware Thunder's last game here of the season. Once again, nothing to lose and just going all at it. Watertown not liking the hit and trying just to protect their players.
Hanakainen played in Finland from 2018 to 2021. He's from the capital, Helsinki. Rookie in the league. He got a good shot, though, on the other side of Ismail Ralston. It was cool right before both sides headed off to their bench for a respected timeout. Ralston giving a dap up to the opposing goaltender, Kozlowski. Both of those guys, Cali boys at one point or another. Ralston from Huntington Beach. Kozlowski moved from Vancouver down to California before heading out east to New England College over in New Hampshire. Watertown's last goal came on a man advantage. This latest one, a penalty, again, assessed to Hanakainen. The power play unit returns to the ice for Watertown. First power play for either side here in the second.
If you're the Thunder, you don't want to go down by 3 goals here. A tough situation, though, as Kozlowski has been sharp in this second period, just making one of the biggest saves of the night for him just a few moments ago. But once again, you don't want to put him on an island if you're the Delaware Thunder either.
We've seen the Thunder come back from 4-1 on the Delmarva Sports Network, but as you mentioned, again, going up against a playoff team, it's not a spot that you want to see yourself fall into often. On the ice, the penalty kill for Delaware. Coming into this game, Delaware kills at a 74% clip. Ivanov and Wilson, a chance shorthanded. Houston Wilson seems to be the master of the shorthanded goal. He's got a handful of them this season. He's on the ice along with Jacob Volth, Jared Lamoth, and Andre Ivanov.
We'll say, too, to highlight, D. Costanza has been very good in terms of the defensive side of things here today, has helped Kozlowski out a numerous amount of times, making sure that he wasn't left alone and getting back and helping out in any way that he can. They're going to need that here, especially with 1:16 left in the power play.
He's a hustler for sure, as is Brennan Young, who his collision with Hanakainen, the reason Tovu's in the box right now. It's over a minute to go on the man advantage for Watertown. Circling in, a drive from Baker goes high. Back to Young. Baker at the point. Opposite circle and slotted back up top. Over the circle. Brendan Young's wrister. Whistles around the glass. Wolf can't stop it. Baker's got the puck. 40 seconds to go on the man advantage. Payne whacks it down. It's loose in front. Watertown getting great pressure on this power play. Back with Baker, open the scoring. Controlling with the puck. Playing catch with Payne. Good work by Jacob Wolf to get in the lane. And Lamoth, a chance to whack it free. Dakota Seaman keeps it in the zone. Charlie Pence Jr. joins the fray. Cross-ice pass in the opposite circle. Big pad save. Kozlowski still loose. It goes off the shin of Lamoth. Under 10 to go on the man advantage. Over to Seaman. His wrister. Another block by Wolf. The Czech having one heck of a penalty kill right now. McGuire's turn. Kozlowski has none of it. And that'll do it for the power play for Watertown.
Kozlowski must have a short memory, and in this situation, in a good way. You talk about that first period, especially that goal being scored on you, and the lasting seconds before you get ready to go in the locker room and talk things over. He just has been a different keeper, I think, in this second period. Has seen the puck a lot more and has been moving a lot more freely between the pipes.
Mentioned that time spent in California. He certainly has the surfer dude approach when it comes to playing in between the net, in the sense that, I asked him, do you have any sort of superstitions, ways you get ready? He just doesn't try to overthink it. He just does his job and doesn't overcomplicate things. He's got a lot of respect for the talent of the FPHL. It says, he didn't think too much about the jump. It's just playing hockey.
That's exactly how you have to be, especially him coming in. And you talk about a goalie earlier in the year that I'm sure he heard of coming in, and Trevor Martin, who obviously hasn't been with the team, has done really, really good things with the Thunder earlier on and then ended up moving up as well. But Kozlowski coming in here and just seizing it as an opportunity, and that's the best way you can be. And he's done a pretty good job so far in the short amount of time he's been here.
Horn gaining the zone for Watertown. Can't hit the target. Ritz on the puck. Dumps it all the way down. Icing waved off. Carter Jr. planning the attack for the Wolves. Our first hockey broadcast on the Delmarva Sports Network was a raucous fray, Watertown and Delaware. Carter, great glove stop made by Kozlowski. The first one was a raucous fray between these two. I feel like there was a fight every 2 or 3 seconds. So much has changed that I was a cameraman back then.
That is crazy to think about. I do remember it being called almost like an MMA fight rather than a hockey game because, we talked about the tension on the top of the broadcast, and of course this has been a much calmer game than we saw earlier in the season. But, yeah, it was more of like an MMA fight coming out here, and both teams, you could tell, just not being too fond of each other. A lot of history on both sides. A lot of former Delaware Thunder players on this squad as well.
Obviously, none more notable than Charlie Pence Jr. on the Wolves. Father manning the bench as the team's CEO and doing some coaching in the suit on the opposite bench here in Harrington. Good work by Weber, but you see another player losing their footing on this ice. It's been a point of concern in the second period. Big spot here for Delaware. Face off in the offensive zone. Weber, Gafrov, and Malushkin on. Malushkin so quick with the puck. Pirouetting back and forth. Check down to the ice. Numbers for Watertown. Up ahead, Tim Payne. Big hit from, that was Thompson. Weber lost his helmet as well. And Kozlowski just going to have to freeze that as Brennan Young was bearing down. With just over 5 to go here in period number 2.
Looks like Thompson on that play might have gotten a little bit banged up as well. Takes the glove off his right hand. Was holding it for a second, not speculating anything there, but a lot of frustration. And a cut on the upper eye, actually. It looks like his upper left eye as he got checked into the glass a little bit there, and you can see it for just a moment. He's extremely frustrated on the other side for Watertown, but a little bit of blood coming from that left eye.
So Thompson upset. Delaware having a laugh at it. It was Thompson who initiated the contact, hitting Weber. Weber lost his helmet. Big collision up against the boards once again. Tempers have been at bay the entirety of this period. We'll see how much longer that lasts. Jindrak pressuring Moritz into the boards. Both over to Pinkowski. Pinkowski, DiCostanzo, the wrist shot just missed. DiCostanzo now trying to center into Pinkowski. But speed ahead for Watertown. Control, the wrist shot is going to be frozen once again by Kozlowski.
The most impressive thing by Kozlowski is that he can go into one period and, like we just saw, have a goal scored on him at the end of the period and be a little bit frustration and then come out with a whole new mindset. And that's what I meant a little earlier about the short memory. And that's not as easy as it sounds, especially him being a younger and newer guy to this squad and getting used to the level of the play, of the offense, of opposing teams. But he's done a really good job of adjusting during intermission breaks, whether it's the coaches saying something to him, whoever it might be, his teammates as well. We don't know necessarily, but he has done a really good job of adjusting on the fly.
19 saves on 22 shots faced so far for Spencer. On the opposite side of things, 24 stops on 25 shots faced for Ismail Ralston. Adam Wisco started a number of games this year for Watertown, not even suiting up for this one after getting pulled last evening. But Ralston has certainly shown why he earned the nod. He's been terrific yet again tonight after stopping 13 of 14 shots in relief on Friday night.
There have been so many opportunities for the Thunder to turn the momentum their way, and Ralston every time just disrupting that. Other than the opportunity early on between Mentis and Wilson, Delaware are trying to take some slap shots and from distance, try to get the passes inside. It's just not working, and Ralston able to hold his own.
Wilson in the circle for the faceoff. Moritz, Delaney, Lamoth, and Grimentis on the ice as well. Grimentis can't dance all the way through traffic. Horn at center ice. Over to Corrigan, offsides first. Little too quick for the Spring Lake, Michigan native.
Thunder catching a break right there, unable to get back as quickly.
So we're 4 to go here in period number 2. Again, we appreciate you being with us once again tonight, as you have been all season long on home Saturday nights here in Harrington, Delaware. Thunder looking to send everyone off on a high note. Wilson winning the face-off, quickly gaining the zone along with Delaney. Tied up momentarily. Houston Wilson giving chase. Delaney over to Graham Mentis. Nifty toe drag. He can't tuck it in. Ralston's pad was there. Tie up for the puck. Another turnover. This one to Chris Corrigan. Top line causing problems again for Watertown. 2-on-2 of Malushkin and Graham Mentis hurry. Wilson playing catch-up. Graham Mentis nearing the cage and shoots it right into the chest of Ralston.
Tell Mentis really wants to get one here. He was firing at the cage. Wilson trying to catch up with him to maybe get that pass inside and throw Ralston off guard just a little bit.
So really, Kayla, these two teams just extending the bumper boats you were playing at the intermission. Just a whole lot of bouncing back and forth. No one scored here, and we got 3 minutes to go in the period.
We saw a goal scored at the end of that first period. If you're the Delaware Thunder, though, you want to try to get within one here, especially going out of period number 2. They just haven't been able to have too much offensive momentum, especially towards this dry period of the second. Graham Mentis trying to change that a little bit, but both sides not able to get a lot of their guys back in the offensive zone before the defense disrupts it.
We showed you the stats of the intermission. Delaware was leading Watertown 20-11 in shots. That gap has closed considerably as Watertown leading the shots in period number 2. Face-off one to Andrei Ivanov. A tie-up between Malushkin and the official. Brutal break for Delaware. Danila had some space. Instead, puck skips over the stick of Ivanov. 2-on-1 for Watertown. Thompson across. Kozlowski is there. And Ivanov getting wailed on now. He came in to protect Kozlowski. And we'll see if that is indeed the night for Cutting. He was given a misconduct. That's 10 minutes. Cutting sent to the box. So remember, Taylor Cutting from period number 1. Taylor returns in the waning minutes of the second. Sheds the gloves. Went at it with Ivanov. And officials now explaining to J.C. Moritz what the deal is with Cutting.
A little bit of the same that we saw in the first period, but a huge break there for Delaware. And that being said, they got to take advantage of this opportunity here. Haven't been the best this season on taking advantage of power plays with 2:38 left. Want to try to close the gap just a little bit more. Hasn't been a whole ton of momentum either which way, as we mentioned before. Watertown, a lot of more shots on goal in this period. But with that being said, the Delaware Thunder have a golden opportunity.
Well, Cutting's certainly putting together a reputation to tell the grandkids about. In this game alone, 16 minutes of penalty time issued to Taylor. Double minor the latest, so 4 minutes on the man advantage for the Thunder. Given it sportsmanlike conduct and roughing. Delaney takes a tumble. Malushkin does well to keep it in the offensive end. Winds the puck over to Delaney. Back and forth they go. TJ pressured. Up top, Gafrov and Ivanov. In the circle, Malushkin. With space, wrister into the shin of Pens. Ivanov keeps it in the zone. Wilson holds it there, tied up. Short-handed 2-on-1. Oh, just hopped over Carter's stick. Fortunate break for Delaware. Don had knocked off his stick. Andrei Ivanov back with it. Wilson chips the puck beyond the net. Knocked up out of the air. High sticked against the netting. We'll see the gesture from the officials as to where this face-off is going to take place. And it's going to be delay of game called against Watertown. Michaela, you said it was a huge opportunity for Delaware to capitalize just with a one-man advantage. It's going to be 5-on-3 hockey for the Thunder.
Yeah, and if you're Delaware right now, this is exactly the push you need going in to the third period. Only down by 2, which at this point it seems like the deficit might be more, but it's been a very quiet second period.
Wilson over to Gaffrov. John Amanatidis assessed the penalty for delay of game. 5-on-3 for Delaware. Gaffrov, Wilson, Ivanov, Delaney, and Malushkin on the ice. TJ tied up. Great pressure from Thompson. How about that individual effort from Everett? Racing towards the cage. Knocked down by Ivanov, no call. Delaware's 5-on-3 will span the duration of the period. Gaffrov gaining the zone. Delaney beat him to it. Offsides and a costly one for the Thunder.
And if you're Delaware, those are the mistakes you don't want to happen. You have a golden opportunity right now to end this second period off. Kind of want to give Watertown a taste of their own medicine as they were able to get that goal with the lasting seconds of the first. Looking to do the same here with 1:12 left.
DiCostanzo in for the face-off along with Weber. Graham Mentis. Delaware just needs to prolong some semblance of offensive ice time. Marquise eyeing in front, eyes got wide. Good stuff by Jared Lamoth, he's there. 1 minute remaining in period number 2. And Delaware get the first goal of the second 20. Graham Mentis in tight. DiCostanzo on the doorstep. It's a goal for the Thunder. Charlie Bedard pokes it home. And just like that, the lead is cut to 1.
You couldn't have wrote it up any better as this replay brought to you by 93.5 The Beach, just right on the doorstep. Once again, 5-on-3. Not enough for Watertown to get all the way back and be able to defend that. So Ralston having to do what he needs to there, but able to beat them out with Bedard and the Thunder. What a play, what a finish. And now down by just 1 with 49.7 left to go.
Charlie Mooresville State College grad in 2020. It's his 4th point in 14 games with Delaware. And it comes in a huge spot for the Thunder. So that does it for the 4-minute double minor assessed to cutting. The penalty assessed against John Amanatidis continues, so you still have more hockey. In fact, because it's a double minor, 5-on-3 hockey continues. Cutting's first one wiped off. Now he serves the second. So a whole nother minute of 5-on-3 hockey. Delaware can tie. In front, scored! Charlie Bedard again! Have yourself a night, and we're all knotted up at 3 apiece.
And laying it up exactly when he needs to. This is about taking advantage of opportunities, and they're able to do exactly that. Just too much for Watertown with the disadvantage. Delaware Thunder doing what they need to do, and now we're all knotted up after a very back and forth second period. The Thunder getting all the momentum in their way with 34 seconds left to go.
Perhaps the back and forth and the physicality, but Delaware, the only answer on the scoreboard. 2 quick goals, both of them power play tallies. Cutting continues to serve that penalty, so it's 5-on-4 hockey for the Thunder. Under 30 seconds to play here in the second period. Charlie Bedard, 2 goals in a matter of seconds. Rementis wriggles free. DiCostanzo drive. Sticked out of the air by Ralston. Under 10 seconds to go. And Delaware will enter the final period, knotted up at 3, and 71 seconds remaining on the man advantage. What a way to close out period number 2. Weber playing chef, Graham Mentis getting this place pumped up as Harrington fired up for 20 more minutes of hockey here in Delaware. Another look at the snipe from Bedard, the tying goal just seconds after he scored the second for Delaware. We hit the second intermission. 3's on the board for Delaware and Watertown. Full intermission report coming up next on DSN.
Intermission at the Thunderdome. Brought to you by Outdoors Delmarva.
What could be the final period with the Nordic Head on center ice here at Harrington, Delaware. The Thunder, a matter of moments, go from a 3-1 deficit to a 3-3 tie, and that's where we currently find ourselves entering period number 3. But first, it's the intermission report. Appreciate all of you for being with us here in Harrington, watching this contest. The Thunder down 3-1, going a 5-on-3. It was first a two-minute minor, and then a double minor assessed to Taylor Cutting. It would ultimately become a 5-on-3 after delay a game quickly thereafter by John Amanatidis and Charlie Bedard capitalizing in quick order. But we got all the highlights to show you from period number 2. We'll take you all the way back again. All these replays brought to you by 93.5 The Beach. It didn't start out so sunny for the Thunder. A breakout and a big save. One of his best of the night by Kozlowski. Michaela, you've been really impressed with this evening.
I have. I think, we were able to see him last week on DSN. I was impressed as well. But him just being able to say, okay, at the end of that first period, got a goal scored on me, to now being almost perfect, you could say, in this period number 2. The short memory that he had, how he was able to make those adjustments, that's not easy for his age, for somebody coming on the Thunder that's a little bit more newer and first time facing a lot of these different guys in terms of the offensive zone. So we'll see if he carries it over in period number 3, but definitely made the adjustments needed for the Delaware Thunder. So
Taylor Cutting it, he sent to the box here. This was the first power play goal on the doorstep. Bedard popping it in. That would make it a 3-2 game. And just as we finished setting the scene from Bedard's first goal, a great feed from Graham Mentis, more 5-on-3 hockey, and Bedard his second. He's up to 5 points now in 14 games with Delaware. Take another look at Graham Mentis first. That speed, just able to create, draw attention, and nobody home backside aside from McGuire for Bedard to poke that one home. Back to what we were talking about with Cutting for just a moment, because, yeah, he's played against Delaware for a number of teams this season, played for Elmira as well. He actually played for the Thunder in the inaugural season in 2019-20, was a member of Delaware, racked up plenty of penalty minutes with the Thunder as well, 186 in his time here in Harrington. So he's had that reputation throughout the league, throughout his career. Just now on the opposite side of things, really hearing it from the fans. He's amassed 16 penalty minutes alone in this contest, but I don't think anybody here in Harrington's complaining because they love seeing the rough and tumble hockey. You liken it to an MMA fight at times, the way some of these guys get at it.
Yeah, and on top of that, he also just scored 2 goals, so I'm sure that the Delaware Thunder faithful are absolutely loving his play right now. They get all rowdy, especially when there's some fists thrown and everybody's getting all tangled up, but he really just put this team on his back in the second period and gave them exactly what they needed to going into period number 3.
Yeah, Charlie Bedard, 5 points now in his 14 games with Delaware, and he's been huge. He's on that top D pairing tonight with Andrei Ivanov. It certainly paid off already. When we come back, we got stats from the second period. We'll get you ready for the third. It's an exciting one here in Harrington. All night up at 3 apiece of the second intermission. We'll be back on the Delmarva Sports Network.
Intermission at the Thunderdome. Brought to you by Outdoors Delmarva.
Zamboni putting the finishing touches on the ice here in Harrington one final time in 2023 for the Thunder. At least in this season, 3s on the board. Watertown and Delaware knotted up. We got the halftime stats, the intermission stats, coming up for you in just a moment. We mentioned the shot disparity. It is certainly evened out. Delaware really opened that up once again in the waning minutes with Charlie Bedard's 2 goals. The penalty minutes now heavily favoring Watertown, cutting with 16 of those. But the big reason why Watertown's even has been the performance in net of Ismail Ralston. He has stopped 31 shots of the 34 he's faced. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, Kozlowski's made 21 stops, both rookie goaltenders, and both those guys getting it done.
I think Ralston really just carrying what he did in that first period. And in that second, it's tough when you only have 3 defenders back to kind of help you out. You're kind of in a no man's land if one of them gets beat, and you have to take one-on-one in that situation. So he's been able to be really steady for this Watertown team. And on the other side, Kozlowski definitely improving in that second period.
We'll see who bends and who breaks in period number 3. It's coming up on the other side. One final period of Delaware Thunder hockey on DSN this season. Third period about to get on the way here in Harrington alongside Kayla Santiago, Tim Nolan back up here with all of you at Center Ice Arena. 3-3 Delaware and Watertown. Wolves have the FPHL playoffs next. This is it for the Thunder, but they're trying to end the season on a high note with double-digit wins for the second time in 3 seasons as a franchise. Kayla, you already admitted you can't skate, but in your expert opinion, what are some things that you would like Delaware to do here to continue pushing and come away with the W?
I think it's just being more aggressive on taking shots and making sure they keep the puck in the offensive zone there. Besides the penalty opportunity on the 5-3 advantage, it really just was more back and forth, and nobody really had momentum. If anybody did, you would give it to the Wolves. For the Delaware Thunder, just trying to keep it in that offensive zone. Kozlowski had a very good second period, but you can't always keep him on an island every single time. So would like to see them do that a little bit more in the final period of regulation.
You recognize this song by chance?
I do. It has a sentimental part of my life. It's crazy to think that he's actually not a real person, but this song definitely the underdog mentality and getting right back up and coming out victorious. So Thunder played every single time, which is always great to hear, especially for me being right outside of the Philadelphia area growing up.
I was going to say, for any of you Thunder fans who might not tune into DSN regularly, Kayla is a big Philly fan, if you didn't get the memo already.
Grew up in Philly and lived right outside of Philly throughout my later teenage years and in my early 20s. So still in my early 20s, but throughout college as well. So great area, even better sports.
You can see Lamoth just trying to test out the playing surface. This puck is going to come to an unpredictable stop at times, and guys are going to have to watch their footing as well. Again, this is not the typical Zamboni that the Thunder had used all season long. Maintenance issues bedeviled the team heading into this final homestand. And it might have ended the night prematurely of Pierre-Luc Ballard, who is in street clothes and out for the rest of this game for Watertown. Graham-Mentis trying to navigate around. Again, Thunder still on a power play to start this period, but it's down to 20 seconds. Cutting serving the second of that double minor towards the end of the period. Good check by Ivanov to wrench the puck free. Final 10 seconds of the man advantage. G. Costanza loses the handle and just dumps it back deep into the zone. Both sides going to change, and Charlie Pence Jr. whacks it right to Malushkin, who steers it over to Graham-Mentis. Moritz lost sight of the puck. He's back checked well by Jindrich. Tell you what, Don Carter Jr. has done plenty of skating tonight for Watertown. Part of that top line for the Wolves. Ivanov tied up by Carter. And checked into the boards by Wolf. Comes free with Malushkin. Now Dennis Gaffarov. Nice drop-off pass. Malushkin eyeing Wolf. Couldn't link up. Watertown with it. Carter at neutral ice. Fluttering puck knocked down well by Wolf. Malushkin stays onside. Fan on the wrister. Disgusted with the effort. Watertown has it. John Amanatidis. Whacked out of his reach by Hanakainen. Lamoth. Good back check applied by Cutting, who is somehow still in this game. Cross-ice feed to Wilson. Roped down by Cutting. As we just said, somehow still in this game. He's going right back to the box.
And if you're Watertown right now, maybe kicking yourself because although he brings a unique skill set, it's been a lot of times here tonight, and Delaware has already proven that they can take advantage of opportunities during penalties.
And now it's going to be a double minor. Second double minor assessed to Taylor Cutting. Another 4 minutes of 5-on-4 hockey for Delaware. makes it an even 20. So Taylor Cutting has spent a full 20 minutes, a full period in the box. But a shorthanded chance. All alone is Trevor Lord. Kozlowski makes the stop.
His confidence just has been on the upscale ever since after that first period. And he just saved a big-time shot there when he was put on an island, allowing the Thunder to try to go back and take the lead.
Malushkin through the legs of Wilson. Corrigan tried to backhand it out of the zone. Does well to stick with the puck and fights past Ivanov. And dumps a fluttering pass in. Delaney in quick to Wilson. Nifty stick work. Winds it around, but it can't be kept in the zone by Bedard. The 2-goal night already for Delaware. Back on the power play. Thunder, 2 goals in the 5-on-3, but have not scored this evening on 5-on-4 chances. It winds back to Graham Mentis, who just missed the mark. Graham Mentis was one-on-one and couldn't get it past Ralston. And it's whacked right back down the ice. Watertown has successfully killed 90 seconds of the double minor. Fresh legs getting on the power play for Delaware. Sent down and gloved out of the air. Ralston held on to it too long, though. This could be an offensive faceoff for the Thunder.
Delaware Ken here would like to see the offensive duo of Mentis and Wilson. That worked earlier on, but it just brings such a different sense of speed to the ice. As right now, as you mentioned, trying to switch things off here. But a goal here, still a lot of time left. Would definitely be everything the Thunder want and more.
Lamoth, Graham Mentis wants it. Opposite circle, Weber the wrister right into the stomach of Ralston.
We talked a lot about Kozlowski's performance, but Ralston currently has been put in tough situations here tonight. A lot of penalty time coming from just one of his teammates, and Cutting, as you mentioned, 20 minutes of penalty time and doing what he needs to do to make sure it doesn't get too out of hand.
Chance of Let's Go Thunder ringing out here at Center Ice Arena. The first of the double minor assessed to Cutting has been killed off already for Watertown. DiCostanzo searching for options. Cross ice, Weber in the circle. Tried to link back up with DiCostanzo. Whiffed on the attempt. Rocco eyeing Graham Mentis. Slapper in! And for Bedard, it's the hat trick. 3 power play goals for Charlie Bedard. And it's a 4-3 Thunder lead.
The first 5-on-4, the Thunder were able to get the slap shot there, but Bernard in the perfect place at the perfect time to make sure it goes off of his stick and Ralston doesn't have a chance to defend it.
The stoppage you're seeing from the official is because there's a couple of hats being thrown onto the ice. A little delayed, however. And usually you want to make sure that happens right as Bedard puts it in. They're coming on late. Officials on cleanup duty along with the lead assister on the goal, Austin Weber. What a night for Bedard.
Everything Delaware Thunder fans want to see and more, but Bedard doing exactly what he needs to, taking advantage of opportunities and being in the perfect place. That's the second goal where he was right there on the doorstep as well, making sure there's no chance that the puck does not go in.
Amanatidis with it. Shoveled out of the air. Even strength hockey in Harrington. 3 straight power play goals. Delaware on top, 4-3. First lead of the night for the Delaware Thunder. Dakota Seaman gaining the zone. Shouldered away by Moritz. Weber walled off against the boards. Seaman and Moritz. JC wants no part of dropping the gloves. Dakota doesn't understand.
And if you're Moritz, you're extremely smart in this situation. Listen, I know hockey is a physical sport, and sometimes Thunder fans want to see the fights, but you've been successful back-to-back-to-back times now on the penalty play. If you're the Delaware Thunder, you don't want to be down a man, but you know what you can do when you are up a man.
Back to Charlie Bedard for a moment. Most recently, some SPHL experience before coming over to the Thunder. He played for Vermilion County, the Bobcats, and a 3-goal night, giving him 4 on the year in 14 games with the Thunder. Charlie was with the squad last year for 19 games, tallied 3 goals and 5 assists. And with the timeout on the ice, all 4 officials linking up right now, perhaps discussing what was going on at the end of that play with J.C. Moritz tangling with Dakota Seaman.
You're Bedard right now, exactly what you want to end your regular season at home for the Delaware Thunder. The hat trick, still a ton of time left to play in the third period, but how about the Thunder? They've really turned things around from the end of that second period to now.
Taylor Cutting's back on the ice. Place your over-under bets for how long. Carter taking the face-off in the circle with Wilson. He's back skating, defending Graham Mentis. Arquise over to Delaney. Back to Graham Mentis. Shot from the point, goes wide of the bar. Over to Wilson. His shot from the circle, gloved down in the air by Ralston.
Talking about the keys to the third period when we came in early on was to get more shots in the offensive zone, to be more aggressive, and to have more opportunities, a.k.a. time of possession as well, making sure that you're having just a little bit more. And so far, they've been able to do that. Yes, there was a penalty. It just seems like they're the aggressor coming out in this third period.
And now Horn trying to win the race, possibly to tie it up. Does well. The wraparound on Kozlowski. It's loose to Carter. Backhander pad save made, Kozlowski. And now Graham Mentis, if he can continue to hustle. Well, Marquise goes down. And then behind the play, Cutting just took TJ Delaney down to the ice. You got to keep your head on the swivel on all ends. Wilson hustles over into the fray.
You have to give a lot of credit to Bedard on that last play, too, making sure Kozlowski didn't have to go from left to right and saving it.
Heinakainen leveling Taylor Cutting. And now DiCostanzo with Wolf tumbling to the ice, but what a hit by the Finn.
Wolf had the perfect angle right there. Just lost his footing and unable to gain it back.
Payne, nice feed inside. Carter, the wrister, was deflected out of the air by Ivanov.
Thunder have been doing a lot better job, too, of getting back and making sure Kozlowski's not left alone. Mentioned Bedard, Ivanov on that play, getting a stick in on the action to try and get it out of the offensive zone of the Wolves.
We'll do it all over again on the face-off. Heinakainen went to the Delaware bench all smiles. That was a punishing hit on Cutting. Lorden for the face-off with Weber. It comes loose to Thompson. A sharp angle try that whistles up and over the crossbar. Take 3 between Trevor Lord and Austin Weber. We're picking up a point tonight for Delaware in the season finale on the most recent goal that gave the Thunder the lead. Malushkin fights that puck past the blue line. Cross-ice pass. Lord behind the cage. As Brennan Young, along with Everett Thompson, goes cross-ice trying to get to Timothy Payne. Those two can't link up. Lord switches the field. Malushkin hit by Payne, and that puck's going to go all the way past down the ice. And a hit into the boards, that time applied by Weber. Anakainen, rope down. Delaney at neutral ice. The pirouette and the feed to Graham Mentis. Arquise loses the handle. Charlie Penn's applying some pressure. Wilson from a sharp angle, loose to Delaney. Big pad stop made. The third try went through the goal mouth. And then the tip-in goes off the bar. The rebound no good. Ralston on his backside, and Wilson still got a loose puck. Ralston trying to get situated. Doesn't have his stick. And Delaney's got the puck. In the circle, Graham Mentis. And now the goal has been dislodged. And Houston Wilson's irate because he's saying this was all Watertown, giving their goalie a chance to pick up his stick.
Not just Ralston, though. The defense doing a really good job there of making sure they kind of crowded the goal to give him a chance to reset things. As we take another look, and that is Watertown completely just moving the goal to get Ralston to reset things.
Great work once again by our team in the truck. That's exactly what happens. Thompson just shoving it off its mooring to look out for Ralston. And that's what Houston Wilson continues to talk about with the official. It's going to be a face-off in the offensive zone and no change granted to the Wolves as well. Busy night for these officials. Head referees are Steve Cannon and Gordon Laws. Will Fannin and Kyle Cedrone also helping out his linesman.
And it looks like cutting might be done for good here as the coaching staff visibly upset as we can hear them right to the left of us. Frustrated with the officials saying he didn't say anything back. The officials thinking it's just a bit too much. And whoever bet the over-under, some might have hit on how much longer he would be in this game.
Now it seems like they're taking a look at that door. Perhaps one last form of punishment for Taylor Cutting. As he slammed it shut. They're going to have to work on that before we can resume play here.
And the screwdriver in there to try to reset things and make sure it closes properly.
It's a chance for old teammate J.C. Moritz and P.L. Ballard to catch up. And a shirtless Cutting returns to the scene.
I know Cutting is the guy to kind of altercate these things, and we've seen that throughout other times of this season. But if you're Watertown, you're in a tough position because he has cost you 3 goals, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the biggest was probably the first double minor, because if you just take the single penalty there, you don't tack on the misconduct afterwards. All of a sudden, it's 5-on-4 hockey after you kill that first penalty, and Delaware doesn't get the double 5-on-3. They turn that into 2 goals in a matter of 20 seconds. And then the third one that he was issued, another double minor after continuing to bark at officials. Delaware, again, goes over 2 minutes, not scoring on the power play. You get to that back half, and the Thunder take the lead.
And the Thunder, I mean, at this point in the game and this point of this season, have done such a good job and making sure that they take advantage of every single power play opportunity, at least the last 3, we should say. And if you're the Wolves, just try to get the wind back in your sails. And for the Delaware Thunder, they have been playing a very good third period. Still a ton of time left to go.
Delaney sandwich against the board. No penalty assessed. Cutting just dismissed from the contest. Brennan Young, big hit applied by Moritz. Just over 10 remaining. Delaware in a 3-goal run. TJ Delaney had that tip well up into the netting. That one actually nearly goes up against the air pipes.
Delaney all smiles there. After that one went way up and on a play.
Here's a chance for fresh legs to get onto the ice. Delaney's been a great addition for the Thunder. His combined stats this season, he's put up 23 points in 35 games. He's had some huge moments for the Thunder in his time in Harrington. Corrigan tried the no-look, and it squirts in, but no goal is the call. They're claiming it's a kick. Corrigan adamant, he's saying to the officials that was a shot that was mishandled by Kozlowski and that it got knocked in.
Take another look here. Kozlowski completely coming out in front for that shot right there. And it was kicked through, so a good call by the official. That's tough to call in real time, but being able to see that and making the right call. I know they don't have replay down there, and I'm sure the Watertown Wolves are a little frustrated, but we do, and it is indeed the correct call.
Brandon Baker opened the scoring in this game with the first goal. Thought he had another, but it clicked off the inside of his right skate. And it's Baker applying the blow. Going right after Pinkowski at center ice. Another nice pass from Corrigan. This one backstopped by Carter. He gains the zone. Watertown looking for an equalizer. Delaware eyeing double-digit wins. Payne, slight check for Pinkowski. Awkward ricochet off the pad of the goalie, Kozlowski.
You're Delaware catching a break that there wasn't Wolves on the other side.
Not this time, though. Corrigan all alone with Kozlowski. He lost the handle and then gets tripped to the deck. That's going to be 2 minutes going against Jacob Volth. Corrigan thinking that should be a penalty shot. Appeared it was after he already fanned on it. And he's hearing it from some former teammates.
Tough debate right there. Has a reason. I mean, he was right there on the doorstep. It looked like it might have gone off Kozlowski, though, before the initial hit.
It's a heck of a move to start with by Corrigan, but just lost it once he got a sprawling Kozlowski.
It's all like close there. It's tough to see from that angle, but maybe just a hair after it was already out of play.
Corrigan, as you can see, still noticeably frustrated during this timeout. One of the associate captains talking things over with the officials. Officials say no to Corrigan. It's just going to be 2 minutes. That penalty assessed for tripping to Jacob Volth. 5-on-4 advantage for Watertown. The Wolves score their most recent goal on the power play by Pierre Ballard. PL has been unable to play since really the beginning of the second period. Taken down from behind by Moritz after losing his balance. He's been out for the remainder of this one. Watertown already coming into this one without some of its top players. No Elijah Wilson.
Ooh. Good save there by Kozlowski off the right arm.
Matthias Tellstrom as well issued a 10-game suspension for his actions last night. Physical abuse of an official. Watertown could be going into the playoffs very short-handed. Horn from the point. Good vision by Kozlowski. Not bothered by Thompson to make the stop.
Thompson was calling for it right there on the doorstep. There's the shot a little bit too far.
He's got a goal already tonight. That one coming off the feed from Ballard. Second goal for Watertown. Thompson doing the face-off going up against Wilson. Horn, top of the circle. Wrister, glove save made. Kozlowski can't squeeze it. Power play continues. Thompson shoved to the deck from behind. And Wilson sandwiched against the boards. Great poke ahead by none other than Charlie Bedard, who's having himself one heck of a game.
He's helped Kozlowski out a whole ton and helped the Delaware Thunder out offensively.
Kozlowski couldn't find it. Bedard tied it up, and the big fella's going to come take care of him.
Moritz saying he got his hair pulled there, trying to go back to the official and plead his case.
Players on both sides wishing each other a good weekend, safe travels. I'm sure that's the gist of it. As both Carter and Moritz head off the ice. JC definitely gesturing like he got his hair pulled. Payne. Oh, what a goal for Watertown to tie it. Just like the first goal, the Wolves used the screen for number 4. And this one's the equalizer with 8:32 to go.
Outside, just pure shot there. Kozlowski, I think, in that instance, maybe lost the puck once again. The Wolf was right in front of him, and you're the Delaware Thunder. Not what you wanted to happen, but as Delaware was able to take advantage of the power plays, the Wolves were able to do the same exact thing on their turn to tie it up with only 8:32 left to go in regulation.
We'll check in a moment. It appeared to be Everett Thompson who had the tip in off that shot from the point coming in by Timothy Payne. And now that puck squirts free to Carter, trying to put Watertown on top in quick succession. It's been a game of runs. Watertown started this one up 3-1. Delaware responded to make it 4-3. And Watertown has us even. Wilson gaining the zone but losing the puck. Ivanov chips it to center ice. Olsen comfortable out of net. Carter through the legs of his teammate. Brennan Young, such a quick skater for these Wolves. Gaffarov intercepting what looked to be a pass intended for Delaney. Doesn't matter, but he whiffs on the attempt. Weber at center ice, just going to dump it back deep. They credit that last goal actually to John Manatidis. So 2 former Thunder players with goals to tie things up at 4. For Manatidis, that is his 21st point of the season. And the 10th since leaving Delaware for Watertown.
We've sure had one heck of a game for the home season finale here for the Delaware Thunder. As they've come out in this third period, really aggressive. Watertown able to equalize that. And now just a matter of who can put who ahead.
Bedard on the rush, shovels one to Malushkin. In the zone with Gaffarov and Bedard. Bedard trying to link up with Weber. Good stuff by Ralston and knock it away. Thompson uses the window. Back to neutral ice going the Thunder. Weber lost an edge. Works around the screen from Bedard. Puck back on Charlie's stick. Already 3 goals. He was racing towards Cage Nice defensive play made. DiCostanzo lost his stick. Able to retrieve the twig in time. Kozlowski behind the net with Hanakainen. Just over 6 remaining. The final period of the season for the Thunder. Wolf, nifty skating. And maybe perhaps a 3-on-2, but DiCostanzo lost the handle. Hanakainen dumping it in deep. That puck took an awkward carom as the anchor was just trying to clear. Back on the stick of Hanakainen. Pinkowski gains the zone, loses the puck. Ahead for Gingerich. More good back checking by the Thunder. DiCostanzo evades the hit. Charlie Pence Jr. with the puck. 35-year-old who started in this league back in 2011-2012. Corgan ahead. Will all former Thunder players get a goal? The backhand feed for Horn. Stopped by Ivanov. We head back to center ice. With exactly 5 to play in the third. Carter taking his time, and Kozlowski going to freeze it with under 5 to go.
You're the Delaware Thunder right now. The last thing you want to do is to get any penalty trouble in any sort of fight and have a man down with this game all knotted up at 4 apiece. No, it's a physical sport, but disciplined hockey might end up being the winner of this contest, as both teams have been really able to excel on the power play here today.
Nothing in this game, again, will change playoff seeding. Watertown is well clear of Elmira. The Mammoth with 48 points on the year. Watertown with 55. You definitely have no chance of catching Binghamton. The Black Bears up at 107 points in the 2 spot. It'll be Binghamton and Watertown. So loss, overtime win or win. None of it affects what happens next for these teams. But the Thunder just continuing to throw all the other X's and O's out the window. And that's been the mantra for Lou Santini and company. It's about the progress of this group. Again, just going back to the uncertain future of this franchise. You know, it's why Pens and Santini and others say it's just so critical to keep this group together in some capacity because of the strides they've made, especially in the past couple weeks that we've gotten to see firsthand.
And they are such a young team collectively as well, so being able to have them back for another year will be crucial just on development and having another year of experience. Of course, some guys might get moved up or might move around, but at the same time, you're bringing back a core group, and that's exactly what this organization wants to do and is looking to do.
DJ Delaney projects to factor into that future for sure. Moritz from the point. Couldn't link up with DJ. Mentis ferocious on the forecheck. Delaney scanning for options. The sharp angle drive won't go. Still in front, Bedard, go figure, in the thick of things. Mentis can't keep it. Pence Jr. up ahead. Young skating at Moritz. Good defensive work by JC. It took a tough hop near post against Kozlowski. To the point, McGuire. His wrist shot. It took an awkward carom. Kozlowski can't find it. And it somehow glances off the post. What a break for Delaware. Graham Mentis, a magician with the stick. Cemented into the boards. Everett Thompson's turn to dangle, and it's tipped up into the net.
Delaware Thunder gotta try to advance after catching a break right there. 3:37 left to go in regulation. 4-4 game here right now, and Tim, you mentioned, neither of these teams necessarily benefit from a win or a loss in this games in terms of seeding, making, or missing the playoffs, but Thunder would definitely like to get double digits win on the season.
Manatitas a twirler. Winds it in behind. Second line on the ice for Delaware. Malushkin on the puck. Over to Gaffroff, the leading scorer for the Thunder. Absorbs a hit from Tim Payne. Payne streaking ahead. Over to Amanatidis, who tied this game up minutes ago. His wrist shot. Good pad save, Kozlowski. We haven't had to see the heroic stops from from Spencer tonight, but he's been solid enough. There's John with the puck, J.C. Moritz. Back and forth they go at center ice. Delaney tried to drop it off for Wilson and ends up right back with TJ. Nice little give and go. Wilson, the backhander, just missed the bar. A giveaway on the doorstep. Gramentis whiffs. 3-on-2 for Watertown now. Horn drops off to Corrigan. Fluttering puck tracked by Carter. Horn, pressure by Lamoth. Moritz wraps up Carter. Lamoth, that puck hops over the stick of Gramentis. Charlie Penn's with it, works it back into the defensive end. 1:48 remaining in the final period. Here comes Delaney. 1-on-1. Gets it on the backhand, was trying to flip it past to DiCostanzo. He's welled into the boards. Rocco lost a glove. Charlie Pence Jr.'s got the puck. Now on Ivanov's stick. 1:16 remaining. Gramentis a drive, and it hopped over the stick of Wolf. He had the open side. Bedard speeding into the zone. Two players go down to the ice. 1 minute remaining in the period. Bedard met by McGuire and others. Lord, 1-on-1, glove save, Kozlowski. He just got a piece. .40 seconds remaining. Thunder caught on the change, but Hanakainen gets out there. Thompson navigates around him. First try denied, the second save made as well. 30 seconds remaining. A drive from the point, Kozlowski's there again. Hanakainen chips it to the boards. Gramentis and Wolf. Hanakainen joining as well. Great work by Timothy Payne to catch up. Final 15 to go. Perhaps one last rush for the Thunder. To center ice, Weber tracks it down. Gramentis crosses the line with 2. His shot with 1. We're headed to overtime in the final game of the regular season for the Thunder. And want to keep it right here as well. Delaware battles back. They enter this period down 3-1. They entered the end of the second period down 3-1, but right at the end got the 2 goals. Tied it up heading into this frame. Took the lead. And John Amanatidis, who started this season with the Thunder, ties things up. That's what sent us to overtime at 4 apiece.
What an electric ending to our very last broadcast here for the Delaware Thunder in 2023 on DSN. It's been back and forth, especially in period number 3. A lot of the succession coming off the power plays. And really, ever since Cutting has been out of the game, the Wolves have been able to keep it pretty quiet in terms of ending up in that penalty box.
We got a chance to look at some of the goals from that second and third period to see how the Thunder got back even in this one and ultimately took the lead before Amanatidis tied it up. We'll take you all the way back to the end of period number 2. Double minor assessed to Cutting with just a minute left in the period, along with the delay of game to Amanatidis. First goal chipped in by Charlie Bedard, and he wasn't finished. Right after the initial faceoff, following the first goal, Bedard tucks in a second, That made it 3-3. And then in period number 3, Thunder took the lead on a third goal by Bedard, the hat trick, and then Tim Payne from the point. They credit the tip into Manatidis, and we're all knotted up again. 4-4. Carter in the zone for the faceoff, going up against Wilson. 3-on-3 hockey to cap off the 2023 season for the Thunder. Carter comes away with the puck first. Skates around Ivanov. Thought about the wraparound. Now gets muscled down to the ice by Ivanov. Great back check from Andre. Gramentis and Wilson. These two awfully dangerous, already linked up for a goal tonight.
Ton of speed on the skates as well, having them too.
Gramentis loses the handle. Gonna take his time and work it back. Trevor Lord comes onto the ice for the Wolves. Gramentis picks his spot. Marquise continues on his way. Sticks with it. And then has to just go past the blue line. Great stuff by Corgan. He'll hustle off for a change. Two new skaters on, Everett Thompson, and Timothy Payne checking in. Thompson was irate. He wanted a call being made for 4 men on the ice for Delaware. Malushkin and Weberstern. Danila, the nifty move. No call as he went down to the ice. Payne has Thompson up ahead. Turns it over to Malushkin. And Weber gives it right back. Lord, the wrister off the shoulder of Kozlowski. Still loose in front, on the doorstep. Kozlowski can't get there in time. And the Watertown Wolves are going to row the boat right into the FPHL playoffs.
Turnover causes the goal there, and defense unable to get back. One save after another, but the Watertown Wolves just able to figure it out, having it too close for comfort if you're the Delaware Thunder. And a tough way to lose the last game of the season, but it was a great one. Going into overtime, Thunder almost had it in their pocket. Watertown showing why they're a team that's going to be entering the playoffs. And nevertheless, a great game to end the regular season at home for the Delaware Thunder.
Captain's talking things over. Wilson, a handshake and a congratulations to Trevor Lord. The Wolves lock the 3 seed in the Empire Division. They'll be taking on Binghamton, as we mentioned, to start off the FPHL playoffs. And that does it for the Thunder. To put things in perspective, this is the second best season of the 3 for the Thunder, capturing 28 points, 2 better than last season. We'll be back with the postgame in just a moment. 5-4, Watertown wins it in overtime to cap off the season. And here is the winner once again. Kozlowski just wished he had another inch or 2 on the skate. Everett Thompson, the winner. The Wolves take it 5-4. We'll be back in just a moment.
Thunder postgame show is brought to you by Outdoors Delmarva.
Well, Delaware Thunder fans hoping they have not seen the last of the Delaware Thunder in the first state. The season finale comes to a bit of a disappointing but encouraging close at all the same time because all the key members, very young players, Kozlowski, another fine day in net, just could not get enough of a stretch on that final goal scored by Everett Thompson. Wolves take it 5-4. Kayla Santiago, Tim Nolan, happy to be with all you. Kayla, you look at this contest, though, and you know, oftentimes with exit games or last games of the season, you might sort through them and think, okay, here's a piece we can take away for next season. Just a little weird knowing that there's a lot in flux right now.
Yeah, it's really tough because the Delaware Thunder is still trying to figure out where a home might be for next year. But as you mentioned, you look at these teams, it's such young guys all coming together for the first time really towards the second half of this season. And if the Delaware Thunder can somehow find a home for next year, it's going to be exciting to see all these guys come back, what they can do with another season under their belt. And they're going to just have so much more chemistry, especially coming from the back end of this year. It was a really good game to end off of course, Delaware Thunder fans wanting it to end their way, and it did it 5-4 in favor of Watertown. But it was close as nails all the way through.
Absolutely. And just to see how much this season or team meant to some players, Richard Pinkowski spent a good, 4 or 5 minutes on the ice, genuflecting and kneeling right at center ice, and, the fans certainly responded. They truly love their Thunder, all 700, 800 that packed this place every Saturday. We got the highlights for the finale. We're going to show them to you. Coming up right now, these replays brought to you by 93.5 The Beach. We go all the way back to the end of the second period. This is where things got interesting on the 5-on-3. Taylor Cuttings eschewed over 20 minutes of penalty time, and his double minors proved really critical initially for Watertown. It ended up not mattering because the Wolves got it done in OT, but it resulted in 2 quick Bedard goals to tie things up heading into the third.
You could tell right there just the enthusiasm and excitement, momentum switching back their way. Back-to-back goals in the matter of seconds for Bedard. He was on fire in that second period and a little bit in the third as well, you could say.
And then this was one of a number of breakouts that happened for Watertown. A great chance for Trevor Lord, an even better stop by Spencer Kozlowski to keep it even. And then the shot from the point by Weber, it ends up being tipped in. Yeah, they're pointing to him right away. Charlie Bedard, the hat trick, the first of his professional hockey career, at least with the Thunder.
And either way you put it for Bedard, that's exactly how you want to end your season. Of course, you'd rather end it with a W, but at the same time, you have the hat trick. You were able to put your team within striking distance and even put them ahead when they were down 3-1 at one point. So he did a really good job really on both sides of the puck, was helping Kozlowski out a whole lot as well, just trying to be in there for some stops.
You're looking at this one saying, well, wait a second, what happened here that we're showing it back to you? Everett Thompson, who ended up scoring the game winner, he was able to stay on the ice after just shoving the goal off its moorings. And then a couple of moments later, a goal that was kicked in, that's disallowed. Corgan, coaching staff alike, furious with the officials because they didn't have the benefit of the same replay we were looking at. This goal would count, though. Timothy Payne from the point, Manatitas tipping it home. And just like that, it was all tied up for Watertown. Another look as another old friend returning to Harrington and doing damage.
Delaware fans, although they might have liked them when they played for Thunder, not too much here tonight, able to tie the game back up. One of the many reasons why this Watertown team will be heading to the playoffs. They're able to come back.
This was a crazy sequence where Kozlowski lost sight of the puck, and when he had an open goal, the puck ends up bouncing off the pipe. Delaware tries to respond, a shot that goes just across the goal mouth. And then, this is in the waning moments of regulation. Watertown just trying to chip away. They're able to break the deadlock in overtime. Everett Thompson, the winner, as Watertown finishes the season. They scored 57 points. They'll push on, and the final shot, we mentioned Pinkowski, just taking it all in. And those are your highlights from the finale. 5-4 defeat for Thunder. They lose it in overtime, but they end the season with 29 points. Quite a turnaround, given this is a team that at one point had 28 consecutive losses, a professional hockey record, and really picked it up towards the end. He's one of the additions, Ryan, and another reason why there's plenty of passionate fans who hope that this stays here. If not in Harrington, somewhere else close by, for all these passionate fans who are sticking around here and all watching at Center Ice Arena.
tough ending to what happened to be a better end of the season for the Delaware Thunder, as announcements happening now to thank the fans and everybody involved. An emotional moment for everyone involved, including the fans, the coaches, the players, as they don't know what will be next for them, and that can always be scary as a hockey player yourself at this level. You don't always know what's next if you'll return at that level, but at the same time, they really don't know if they're going to be with this organization in a year from now or where their home will be. Of course, us being able to broadcast them all season long would be good to see this core group come back together next year.
And now we're back to typical post-game protocol. Want to make sure we weren't missing any other important post-game ceremonies. Final jerseys being given away here in Thunder, and we're going to say our final goodbyes here as well from Harrington. Want to give a huge shout-out to our entire team who made it possible all season long. It's crazy to think that here in this season, I feel like I called the bulk of these games, but you do have another post-game coming up. Appreciate those people we're going to thank on the second post-game. Noah Carter telling me that, our director, taking care of us. We'll be back in just a moment, but then we'll get through all the sappy goodbyes. Thunder drop it 5-4. That does it for the regular season. We'll be back in just a moment.
Delaware Thunder postgame show is brought to you by Outdoors Delmarva.
Now one final time in the Outdoors Delmarva postgame. You have the stats from this 5-4 overtime defeat for Delaware. Shots were even, penalty minutes very much in the favor of the Thunder as they were able to capitalize on the man advantage time and time again to draw even and take a 4-3 lead before Watertown came back to win it and ultimately took the 5-4 W in overtime. 36 saves for the rookie Spencer Kozlowski. And whatever happens with the Thunder next year, you certainly hope he's in the mix because he was terrific in his brief stint with the Thunder. Gail and I back with you one final time now here in Harrington. And now it's time for the goodbyes. I think the craziest part about all this, we were talking about it before, is that you got ditched with doing a game solo. You might remember that famous TikTok with Zach Barnes. One person was American, the other was Canadian. I never planned on doing it. I never had to because I always had somebody in color here. So tremendous privilege and gift, again, for me being able to do this. For our whole team, want to shout out now, obviously yourself, everybody else who's called it, Zach, Gary Schofield on the call one time. Mike Lishniak stepped up here in the booth, crazy enough.
He was great.
I mean, the guy doesn't just know weather. He's got frozen ice as well, doing his thing. In the truck, Noah Carter, director, Moaware producer, Jack Kritz is cameraman, Trey Beckett cameraman, myself saying so long from Harrington one final time. Don't know what the future holds for the franchise. We promise that's not something under wraps that we're keeping. We're just as well in the dark. So if this is the final Delaware Thunder game of the Delmarva Sports Network, it's been a pleasure. That's all I got.
It's been a great season for us to be able to have this opportunity to be here. It's not every day that we can call this level of hockey, especially a lot of teams at the high school and college level don't always have a hockey program. So it's been really cool to get into this sport and just all the opportunities we've been able to have with MMA, hockey, every single different sport. And they've been great here at the Delaware Thunder to be able to have us here, do stories, do games, and things like that. It was an up and down season for sure, but you look at this team and how young it was and how they've grown. And every Saturday night, you might see new guys, but they're growing throughout the game. And that's just what you want to see. We mentioned it's a year where they're going to grow, where they're going to have some growing pains, but they've been able to get through a lot of different things, have some big wins that we've been able to have here on DSN, and it's been a pleasure for our whole entire crew to be able to be out here and all work together and get some hockey on our reel as well. So it's been really, really fun here, especially with you, Zach Barnes, who's been able to also do these games before. A whole lot of fun, and of course we hope that it's not the last time they're here. Once again, we don't know, but definitely a good season for us to be able to get out here and call some hockey.
Absolutely. It's a four-year stretch here at Center Ice Arena for the Thunder that has already withstood a pandemic. We'll see what the future holds for the franchise, but it's been a pleasure for the time being. Second best season of the 3 years for the Thunder playing hockey. They get 29 points. Another successful back half of the season for the Thunder, working their way back after some troubles. They got plenty of young pieces you hope stick together under Charlie Penz and co. going for the future. One final time, signing off from Center Ice Arena. For Kale Santiago, Tim Nolan, saying so long from Harrington, Delaware. It's been a pleasure. Have a good night. We appreciate you, as always, for tuning in Saturday nights to some pro hockey on DSN.